There's a show in town, it's going down. Every week we're back on solid ground. Steel toe slipping, but we're gripping. Got the tea to spill, it's always flipping. From April's scrim to Aaron's glee. Oh, this drama's just a spree. Polydrama, legal trauma, another win. Oh, that's the karma. This little piggy went to YouTube. This little piggy's on Rumble now. This little piggy's begging for dollars, and this little piggy's breaking down. Wow! Every week we'll recap and flow. Tune in for this little piggy show. From revenge porn to felony, it's a circus, can't you see? The toe is bent, the goal is spent. His empire crumbles, all hell sent. April's playlist on repeat. Aaron's lies we can't defeat. The countdown's on, it won't take long to see this piggy squeal his song. This little piggy went to YouTube. This little piggy's on Rumble now. This little piggy's begging for dollars, and this little piggy's breaking down. Wow! Every week we'll recap and flow. Tune in for this little piggy show. Oh, this little piggy ain't missing a thing. Just sit back, laugh, and watch the king.
Welcome to This Little Piggy, a weekly roundtable discussion about the Steel Toe Morning Show and its Ricada Cum Slurping host, Aaron Immelt. I'm Carl from Moody's Podcast. With me today is Moody from This Little Piggy and Nobody Likes Onions. Welcome, Moody.
Hello, how's it going?
Fresh off the jet. Also with us is Patrick Melton from Nobody Likes Onions or Front Lighting, apparently. Nobody likes to be lit up.
We're in a new situation here. I got to rehook everything up.
Did Moody break your studio?
Yes.
So this is impressive, guys. We're 1 week from our fantastic episode in Las Vegas at Hackamania. Moody's plane just landed, and he stepped on the gas and got right to his house to be on here. Of course, Tukey can't get out here on time. But Moody can fly to New Zealand today and be here on time.
You get home to your woman, and then you just run out to your little shed to do a podcast. Yes,
She's like, pretty much. She's like, God, you go to do the show, doing your bully show.
I'm not done playing with my friends yet. God.
As long as she knows it's not us making you do it. We told you could take today off.
Yeah, but I can't. It'll fall apart without me. I'm needed.
That is true. You are the glue on this show. I want to welcome Paul Shea and all of his friends watching at Town Square Media. Welcome to the show, everybody. Hey, Paul.
It's great. Paul was a great ambassador for the Minnesota radio market.
I know. Yeah. The thing that's lost on our episode, because of the Nick Ricada revelations and all the evidence, were some of the things that Paul was talking about. And I wanted to start with that. Was it that we're in May? Wasn't this the month that Aaron was going to have that meeting with the radio station?
It's the end of the month. He has it at the end of the month.
He hasn't talked about that. I don't watch every episode, but I haven't seen him talking about that.
His meeting is next week. So he said he's doing it the week after when his trial was going to be. And his trial was happening during Mersha's birthday, which I believe was just this week. So next week, he has his meeting.
Okay. Do you think that's still happening? Does anyone think that's still happening?
Probably.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Paul didn't think he had much of a chance of ever getting back on the radio based on his track record.
It's a stupid idea to hire this man. Like, you could literally pick up anyone else that doesn't have the same baggage he does. Because this guy has so much notoriety at the moment that any advertisers that are on late in broadcasting are going to start getting phone calls from people saying, like, is this the sort of person that you want advertising?
Also, a meeting doesn't mean anything. I bet if Town Square Media could get a meeting with Aaron Immelt, they'd bring him in there just to put everybody around a table and listen to the idiot pitch himself like a meeting. Anybody can take a meeting.
Yeah.
Well, that would be a waste of time if you're not hiring for any positions, but it could also just be grabbing lunch with someone. I mean, we don't know. I doubt this is a job interview. He didn't say it was an interview.
Would you not have a meeting with Aaron just to hear the story from his side?
I would, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah. Like, for sure.
It's worth getting a couple 6-foot Subway sandwiches. And
for sure.
Pouring some pitchers of water in a conference room.
Like, how much will Aaron's heart sink if he sees one of them handing cash over to the other person? He says something.
Told you.
They're just playing bingo while he's talking. Remarkable. All right, I got that one.
See if they can smell his breath across the table. It's come. It's definitely come.
You know, I should mention, we don't have, we still have a goal on the show. We don't beg anymore. but we do still have a goal. So supertip.gg/WATP is where you can go to help us hit our goal. I'm not going to mention it again. I'm not going to beg. Supertip.gg/WATP. You can also gift memberships on here. You can buy yourself a membership. You can super chat us. I'm not going to mention it again. Supertip.gg/WATP. We're not going to talk about it. I'm not begging.
Yeah.
We do
Isn't
have a
it
goal.
ironic? It's ironic that last week's This Little Piggy was the only This Little Piggy that made $0 on the goal. We didn't
Best
have
episode ever. But I think we did pretty well. We had some viewership on it, and it was not free to watch live. And seems like a lot of people were checking out the show. And Aaron's reaction has been amazing. Nothing short of amazing. And we're all wondering, how's he going to spin this? What's he going to say? I did not have this was a giant win for me. I don't know why.
You're saying wondering. No, we were all seething. We were like, how's he going to spin it?
Right.
How?
We were angry. That's right. I forgot about that part of it. But it's amazing. So his big win was, of course, the post that Moody put on Discord.
Right. Totally.
That was the big win because it proved that Nick was actually upset when he lost April, which is, by the way, a
Moody
normal human emotion.
Moody can scrambles dates up in stories.
Right. I got dates wrong. I mixed up 2 stories into 1 story. But this is as close as this man has been to April in over a year.
But I think the point of it, though, was that Nick is sad that his relationship with April has ended. I think he's made that pretty clear. And I think that's a normal human emotion when you break up with someone that you're very close with. And I think it's odd that Aaron acts like it was a great thing that happened, that April left him.
Look at all the sweeping for Nick Recator happening here. Look, the real embarrassing thing is that a guy pulled the fingers at Nick. That's embarrassing. It's the worst thing that could have possibly happened. Like, that's what he was going for. He said the new man pulled the fingers at Nick, and that's mortifying. That's embarrassing. I can think of things that are more mortifying than getting the fingers pulled at me, and a lot of them happened during.
How do you say flicking someone off or flipping someone off? Pull the finger at me.
Pull the finger. Yeah.
Is that what you guys say in New Zealand? I didn't know what he was talking about for a second, Patrick. Were you following that? I was like, I missed something.
I'll be honest, I tune him out most of the time.
Smart.
Flip the bird.
You flipped the bird. Yeah. He flicked him off. Yes, that was the amazing thing. Just like.
Flicked him off sounds like a man who's got a clitoris and you're just stimulating him. Like, that's what that means.
Enough about your fantasies. We're trying to focus on the stories of the week here on This Little Piggy. But yeah, that was the big thing. It's just like, wow. And the ex-boyfriend flipped him off. And then he came up with an entire backstory just based on that one event. He knew exactly what April said to the new boyfriend and how she lied to the new boyfriend and told us stuff about Nick. And that's why he's mad about Nick and is protective of her now. It was amazing how he can create this fan fiction.
The week prior, he was talking about how much she was living off of Nick. Nick is her landlord, and they meet on the side for their sexy rendezvous and things like that. That's all gone.
It's back. It was interesting because before the thing, he's like, "I'll bet you if I'm wrong, sue me." Nick's keeping his side piece over in this apartment he's paying for, and then when you backstab Nick and all that came out, he was like, wow. Again, I don't know how he wins on both sides of every coin. Yep. He was like, wow, Nick misses her. It's so sad that he doesn't get to see April, and that's her new boyfriend's place that she's living at. And then Keanu called in, and she was like, no, I think it is an apartment he's buying for April, and they're lying, and Moody's in on it on the Discord, and this is just it's a snow job to confuse everybody, and he's cheating on his wife. And then Aaron was immediately back on board, like, that's probably what's going on. This guy can't stop. Whatever's in the moment is real to him that makes him feel better is what he goes with.
You just made me realize something. He is the epiphany of heads I win, tails you lose. Like, no matter what side of the coin it lands on, it's a victory for him, and he spins it. I don't know how we've never talked about another spin for the toe, but that's basically what his motto is. Anything that happens, he will spin it into a victory. Even this weekend, I mean, there were some revelations that came out, and a fantastic song that El Horrible put together that really summarizes, I think, the craziest thing. Forget about the cum eating, if you can, if you will.
New unofficial theme.
Our new unofficial theme for This Little Piggy coming in from El Horrible. This is a NoFX parody song. And I have no volume. Oh, hold on.
It's muted.
It is muted.
I'm going to play my last karaoke song, and you guys were just writing the word faggot over and over. Remember that? Remember we were having fun? You were just yelling faggot at me? Okay, and let's say someone is a big fan of the show, and they are going camping, and they're bringing their family. Can they turn on this show?
That's what I just got done saying. If you have kids in the car with you, you can't listen to this show.
I got 3 kids, and that's a problem. A fallen angel. Well, she don't want 'em. But what can I do? This is way too much. Goal for one toe. Steel toe wants his kids in the ground. Pillow over their face and they'll never make a sound. Gotta do it quick before April comes around. The toe wants kids in the ground.
During overtime today, throw in a couple of bucks, please. Streamlabs, PayPal, we got to start a rally. We're 160 away. We've got 4 minutes left.
A suitcase to hide the bodies. Torture bedrooms. Or poison Smarties. They'll be sleeping. And hopefully they'll never wake up. Steel toe wants his kids in the ground. Pillow over their face and they'll never make a sound. Gotta do it quick before April hits the road. The toe wants kids in the ground. Steel toe wants his kids in the ground. Steel toe wants his kids in the ground.
It gets a little repetitive after that, but yes, that is. I saw people asking. That is NoFX. Bottles to the Ground is the original on that. El Horrible is a little pitchy on it. I noticed that he changed octaves a couple times when he needed to, but that's all right. It's just song parodies.
If there's one thing we don't want on this show, it's anything repetitive.
All right, good point. So this was addressed one time by Aaron. This text that said, if I didn't have the kids anymore, but I had April, that'd be great. But if I lost April and had the kids, don't know if I could go on with that. Am I paraphrasing that correctly? Something like that.
Yeah, it's about that. Yeah.
And so Aaron explains to Johnny, he's like, there was that one text that I was just a different person back then. So obviously I've changed and I'm all better now. And Johnny gives no pushback at all. Just goes, oh, okay, cool. Good for you.
The real, he manages to sidestep any ownership of responsibility from that by saying that the real piece of shit move was releasing it without context.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because Johnny goes,
date stamp.
Oh, what a piece of shit. If I said in December, that would be bad. But if I said it in February, wow. That
it was January 3rd. It was less than a month that they had embarked on this entire polycule drug-fueled escapade. And, nobody's out of their mind less than a month into cocaine.
Well,
so, he was of clear mind, and he knew exactly what he was saying. And I have no doubt that this was like some sort of subversive way for Aaron to keep Nick understanding that April is his. We saw it. It was days into the first thing was like December 16th on This Little Piggy last week. The text that said he had no reservations about this. He couldn't think of anything that could go wrong.
Yep.
He knows Nick is an incredibly caring and attentive lover. And then less than a week later, December 19th, there was the text where he's like, I come home and I haven't seen my queen all day, and you guys just run into the bathroom. Like, if I'm not needed, just let me know.
We heard that he was moping. Yeah, he was moping at the dining room table, waiting for someone to come out and be like, you okay?
Yeah.
But the other thing I want to say about that, I heard this week, he said, obviously I've learned now that when you really love someone, you would never share them with someone else. Like, that was obviously, I was done with April, the fact that I was willing to share her with someone else. But he was done with April and then sent the text that said, I'd rather have April than my kids.
Right.
Yes.
So if you look at the timeline there, so there's the context, Johnny. It's even worse. The fact that he's already sharing April with Nick and he groomed her into doing it. And then he puts out, and it really brings me back to that old joke, you fuck one sheep and for the rest of your life. Because literally, like, saying that, there's no coming back from it. The fact that you just be like, well, I fucked a sheep when I was in high school, but, I'm different now. It's like, no, you're a sheep fucker. That's it's all over me, the sheep fucker.
All this for a drop of cum.
Right. The spin was absolutely incredible. We've all covered that on our various shows this week. So I have other things I want to talk about.
It's the grooming. I don't think we got into that nearly as much on both of our shows as much as we should have. He really pushed her towards this. Like, I don't think she was really on board with it.
I had to bring her out of her shell and make her. I love how he's like, the whole April text is that's the only text that's fake, is the cum eating and the cuck text. But you see it in that first text. I think again it's December 16th, and he says, I had to bring her out of her shell to get her to talk about this in bed. No, he likes hearing about his wife liking another man in bed. Specifically, he said that. So there was some grooming going on there, and it was the beginning of the revelation that this guy is into being a cock.
It's a pattern that holds across multiple different pieces of evidence, and they all sort of support each other. It's not just, here's one thing where he's talking about it. It's a web of cuckery, if you will.
And yet he goes on and pretends that him and Nick were cuck buddies, he says.
Right.
They were cuck buddies.
Brothers in cuckitude, I believe.
Right. The way that cuckoldry works is there's a cuck and a bull.
Right.
The bull steals the wife away at the end. So we know who the bull was in this relationship. They weren't both cocks, but somehow Aaron spun this around to be that, no, actually, Nick needed to hear about Aaron when he was having sex with April in order to get off, which is just the exact opposite of the truth. And he says it one time out loud, and then that becomes the narrative, and he never sways from it again. That's just what happened.
Yeah, and to further support the bull cuck dynamic, I mean, every free moment that these guys had, April and Aaron, they were driving an hour to his house. They were at his house all the time. We never saw Nick do a show from Aaron's studio. We never heard about a weekend where they were snowed in at Aaron's house. We've seen the text where Aaron's like, I'll be over as soon as the show's over this afternoon. We know for a fact they were driving 2 cars because April didn't want to leave when Aaron drove. Every free moment, these guys were the beta. They went over to the Riqueda's house.
I'm not sure if you saw this on the NLO when we covered it, Carl, but did you see the name of the group chat that they had on Signal?
Riqueda family.
Riqueda family.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So who's the cuck and who's the bull in this relationship? It's quite obvious.
Aaron was going to take Nick's last name.
That's amazing. I want to talk about the Karmic X, what's going on with him and his appearance on Aaron's show, even though it's a little bit off the timeline. But the reason why I want to talk about that is I did invite Karmic to come on the show. I sent him the link. So if he sees that, if he ever stops streaming and he sees it and he wants to come on, he can. I actually super tipped him today. Right. I super tipped him, letting him know that we were inviting him on the show. And then I had Aaron's voice saying, no, he's my guy. I need him on my show when he's angry or I'm floundering.
If he comes on the show today, are we going to have to take 10-minute breaks every 10 minutes?
Yes. We'll definitely do Coke breaks for sure. No, but the reason why I bring it up is because Karmic actually responded to this thing where, remember, Aaron invited him on anytime he's angry, just reach out to Aaron and they'll send him the link. I haven't seen Karmic on Aaron's show since then. So I was wondering what he thought about that proposal. Well, he confirmed that he thought it was retarded. It's like, why in the fuck would I go onto his show if I have something to say and I want to rant about something? How does that make any sense that I would do that? So I guess that didn't work out the way Aaron was hoping it would.
I think it's the same way that Aaron wants John. Like, Aaron gets jealous when Johnny's like streaming at a time he's streaming, and he has to go over and like snipe him or tell him to like he has to insert himself into any attention anyone else is getting. So like Karmic started getting this heat in the Dabbleverse. And so Aaron, who's again and again said he's not part of the Dabbleverse, doesn't want anything to do with it. He does a broad appealing show. He immediately runs over and has to be a part of it. I think it's that kind of, it's the way he keeps his thumb on people.
And the way he was talking to him as well is very much like, oh yeah, this guy's my idiot. None of you can have him. He's mine. Like that's what that whole interview felt like. It was him sort of poking at him saying, go on, do your trick. Do your trick, Karmic.
Yeah, if I can be, if I can do my best Aaron Imholt impression real quick. Karmic's saying he's not coming on because he's sauced. That's why we want you on, Karmic.
Come on.
You got
You're
the
our
link.
official rage correspondent.
Yes. We want blackout drunk Karmic on this show. I don't want sober Karmic. I was watching that this week. It's boring. Get out of here, buddy. But I thought that was hilarious that Aaron thought like, oh, I'm the big bad podcast everyone wants to get on my show. So I'll just come up with this angle. I'll have this correspondent. My angry correspondent will come on. And he pitched this live. It'd be one thing to like say that behind the scenes and go, hey, what do you think about this idea? And see if it might work out or something. But to embarrass yourself by pitching that live and then having it never happen, I think is a perfect ending to that.
It's not the first thing that he's pitched live that never ended up happening. That seems to be
You think?
part of the Steel Toe show.
Yes.
Is all these ideas that are brilliant, let's do them. And then they just never happen.
Like the golf tournament.
Well, that's
What happened to the golf tournament? That's going to happen, isn't it?
No, he
That's
announced
in
some
July.
details this week. I think it is coming. He's going to have 100 people. That's 25 foursomes, and they're all going to tee off within 2 hours because that's possible.
Sure.
And Moody's predicting 20 people.
Yeah, I think 20 people will show up and they'll be able to tee off within those 2 hours. And he'll be like, see, I planned it that way. Easy. That's what I think's happening.
I just said it'd be 70 people to troll you guys. You guys fell for it again,
Dave.
idiots. Remember, guys, there is a goal on the show. We do not beg. We just say supertip.gg/WATP. It's the last time I'll say it. Supertip.gg/WATP. No begging at all. But thank you very much to Iwa.
Yeah, do it for Karmic. Like, donate for Karmic today. We won't give it to him, but like,
Right. But in
think
like
of
his
him
name, if you like him.
as you
or
donate.
If you're
Like,
mildly
do it for
amused.
Johnny. Do it for Johnny.
Do it for Johnny.
$20 here for the coping and seething. Cheers. Cheers to you, Iwa. Thank you very much.
It would be absolutely remarkable if that autistic Moody fella could add my recently discovered centerfolds from Hackamania to the intro of the show, as it were. You
guys are losers, but I digress.
Kooky
I think
for
we do
Tukey.
have
That's
a-
a great idea.
We do have a plan to update the theme song lyrics, and we'll update the video as well.
I love it. Good stuff.
I cucked Nick so fucking hard. He ran off a batch all over my wife, and I stole it. That's right, Nick. I stole your cum and ate it. No cum for April. Fucking cuck.
Yeah,
Once again.
if Nick's not the cuck, how come he didn't get any cum? Aaron ate it all.
Oh, no. You forgot, Patrick, that Nick slept face down in Aaron's cum for 5 months. But he's not going to show the text message that proved that.
That's insane that he
was
wouldn't
so
show
dumb.
that text message.
Well, there is no text message. There's nothing. It's so stupid. We all know that Aaron was on the edge of the bed next to Kayla. Nick wasn't sleeping face down in anything. He was between the two women.
And it is interesting. It's what he selects that he still has possession of from that phone he dropped in the lake. I have these texts. I don't have the photo that I sent it. I don't know if I sent that to Kayla because the phone's gone and there's no way to know. But I do have these texts that prove. It's like, well, which is it? What do you have from the old phone?
I really think what happened is he wiped on Nick's pillow and just didn't tell him for a long time. Like that's
Like he did to his boss.
yeah. Like that's what he did.
Because he's such a passive aggressive little piggy.
I could see him doing that. Hellraiser69, if there is a meeting, it won't be a job interview. Simply just to clown him as Aaron goes off. Yes, that would be fun. I would take a meeting with him. Flat broke Gino, $10. Melton, what is that crap on your face? By the way, super tips are totally illegal. The cease and desist orders and lawsuits are coming. Melton fails again. At least he used to do it. At least he's used to it. Yeah,
You're right.
It's all happening. Yes. And then Patrick had a lie and pretend he sold the company. Oh, we caught him again. Caught him in another lie.
You guys know what's going on. I'm out of the loop.
Chad Zoomimic. I miss Woods Girl.
She's doing fine.
11 idle hands. I can't wait to see who he gifts Slam Piece to. I vote Patty Seacups. That would be amazing. Patty back in the mix.
The last time he tossed Slime Piece aside for April. So he didn't necessarily get the pattern if it's going to continue.
I was talking to you about this week, Moody. Like, I don't know. I feel like he's got his claws in her. I feel like she's dug in, helping him out. You know, they both probably have this savior complex thing going on mutually. But I was thinking, like, and I talked to you about this while you were here. like if you match with Aaron on Tinder, there's not a woman in the world who doesn't like find out who a guy is and like Google him, right? Like, can you imagine what it would take psychologically to get a new woman on board with all this?
Yeah.
Like any normal woman is going to go like, why does he keep saying he's beating all these people who are clearly beating him? Like,
well, she's not new. There's past history there.
No, I'm just that's what he's saying, right? Like
a new one.
There's no way he would meet someone new and they wouldn't look him up on the internet. Like, what the
got one on the hook. She's buying it fully. Why would he ever get rid of her? This is like a last effort,
Yeah, or you'd end up self-selecting for one, like a woman who doesn't look on the internet or anything like that. None of that bothers me. I don't understand that internet stuff. All I'm interested in is picking up kids, roofing the house, and cooking meals for you.
You not only have to find a woman who like isn't on social media and doesn't pay attention to the internet, you'd also have to find a woman with no friends to say to her like, hey, this guy's like, because friends of girls Google new guys girls date, right?
Well, there's a reason April didn't have any woman friends is because Aaron would push them away, right? That's what I'm assuming. Like the same way he did with Ashley, he managed to get himself between those two. They were very close.
Maybe she was just a tomboy, and then he converted her into a towboy.
But that's not even but that's not even the point. The point, and I think this is definitely true, especially for a guy who's going to tout that he's an internet personality. That's his big move right there. So if he's on one of the dating apps, he's going to be like, I host a show on YouTube and Rumble. And so you're immediately going to go look for that. And if you Google Steel Toe Morning Show, you're going to see all the other shows, Antisocial and This Little Piggy and NLO. All the shows are going to show up.
Hold on. You don't think he can keep the show a secret from anybody he dates?
I don't think so.
I feel like he'll just throw a sheet over it like Christian Slater and Pump Up the Volume. He'll just cover up all his equipment. He just
what is it you do again? I'm in consulting.
Don't mind all that.
If you just search Imholt, like just his last name, half the results are about his revenge porn and abusing
There's that
women.
too. Yeah,
like he's ruined that name.
Mickey Eld says the cuck scrolls weren't your finest moment, Carl. That was just pigs in the mud. Everyone got shitty. Well, I didn't declare it my finest moment. I was more proud of what NLO put together for us.
I mean, look, it's all gross. People are right. It's all gross. I was watching Pretty Antisocial saying we were gay for zooming in on his nipples. Sure. I mean, but also like, it's just boys being boys. We're just being silly. Like, I didn't print out his nipple and put it up on my wall. That would be gay. Like, we were just having a look.
Moody, is that true? He didn't print it out?
His printer was out of ink. He
okay. So technically he didn't. Okay, I see.
After I drop you off at the airport, I need to go pick up some ink.
That's nothing. I heard Moody was 3D printing Aaron Imholt in his bathroom robe.
Don't tell them.
Ewa gifted 5. Who are these podcast memberships? Thank you very much, Ewa. If you got a gifted membership, we do 2 bonus episodes every single month in this channel. Just go to the membership tab and you'll see all the past ones we've done too. We had 3 just last month for you to check out, and you can watch the shows live on Saturdays that we do that are behind the paywall. Well, I want to show you guys Aaron's talking about who he's feuding with and who he's not feuding with, and he doesn't think that any of the shows that are talking about him are worth his time because he does so much better numbers than they do. And so I found this to be very interesting. I'm going to nerd out a little bit, so I apologize in advance for that, but I used to do this kind of stuff for a living, so I know what I'm talking about.
What did you do?
Well, Moody, I never talk about it. I was in digital marketing.
Oh, all right. So
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Buying side?
Look at you. I
buying
get
side.
the selling side, but you're going to subvert that, right?
All right. So anyway, I want you guys to pay attention to the math here.
We have 30 some, almost 40,000 unique viewers every month on Rumble.
I can't. There's no show on the planet.
Hold on.
You remember when Seinfeld would turn the camera and break the fourth wall and be like, I don't know if you guys know this, but we're the #1 views on TGIF. Like, what's going on?
All right.
It's like he's constantly washing himself with horse shit. I can't take it. Nobody talks about their numbers this much.
Hold on. He's got 30,000, then he changes that to 40,000 unique viewers on Rumble. Listen to the movie math that's coming up here.
And about
just
12,000.
before we
Will you
start
fucking
this-
listen, Moody?
No!
How much do I got to
wanna-
set this shit up? No, what were you saying?
Yeah. I'm setting people up. I want this to be an educational moment. This is what we're about to see here is something called the Mott and Bailey fallacy. It's a logical fallacy that happens when someone makes a general statement, such as, my numbers are very good. And then when presented with an opposing argument, like, your numbers are actually, like, your live viewers aren't very good. What he can say in that defense is like, I wasn't talking about my live numbers. I was talking about my monthly unique viewers. So you can change the definition of what your argument is based on what best suits you or like what someone tells you. So it's like
that's how debating works. Have you ever watched a debate between politicians? That's what they do.
It's a
Pick
fallacy
a metric that works for you.
Yeah,
But he doesn't
want to search for it.
Real.
If you want to search for it and learn more, it's
All
called
right,
the Mott and Bailey fallacy.
I hear you, but I'm telling you, these numbers are not impressive. Just listen to the numbers, and then I'll break it down. Fuck. No attention span. This guy's been on an airplane for
Before you do that,
24 hours straight. He can't wait to fucking talk.
I need a Matt voice tip that just explains the Mott and Bailey logical fallacy to us.
Yes.
Some almost 40,000 unique viewers every month on. We have 30 some, almost 40,000 unique viewers every month on Rumble, and about 12,000 unique viewers on YouTube. So it's like 50,000 people a month, 50,000 different individuals a month watch our show.
Okay, let me explain what unique viewers are first off.
Yeah.
So the fact that he says there's 38,000 on Rumble and 12,000 on YouTube, that equals 50. That's incorrect right there. Unique viewers are not being counted across platforms. So those would be probably 100% overlap. Anyone who watches on Rumble also watches on YouTube and vice versa. Okay. So that's already incorrect. But also, doesn't that prove that Rumble's numbers are bullshit? Rumble, most people don't sign into. YouTube, at least people have Google accounts. They sign in. They can calculate uniques across devices. If I'm watching YouTube on my phone or on my computer, on my iPad, I'm one unique viewer because I'm signed in as me. On Rumble, no one's signed in. So if I'm watching Rumble on 3 different places, I'm 3 different people. That's one way that the number's inflated. But also the fact that he has 3 times as many uniques on Rumble as YouTube is not improbable, it's impossible. Rumble doesn't have the audience that YouTube has. It's a fraction, a tiny fraction. Why would he have 38,000 uniques on Rumble and 12,000 on YouTube?
You're bullshitting again. Here's proof that he has more viewers on Rumble. When I go check out a show on Rumble, it has 2 comments. When I go check out a show on YouTube, there's 0 comments.
You just reminded me. I went back to his Monday morning show because I heard you saying that all the comments were deleted. And I put in there, are you still deleting comments? And I haven't gone back to check to see if that's on there.
I mean, can you imagine having a show with thousands of views with no comments? It's like,
no, it doesn't happen. It's impossible.
And they're not off. Everyone's just blocked.
Them.
So they're like invisible or he deletes them.
Yes.
Just turn them off. You can turn off comments like he's done on Twitter.
So Aaron is now saying, okay, I have 50,000 unique, which definitely not. The 12,000 unique on YouTube is probably more accurate across both because it's probably everyone who watches on YouTube watches on Rumble Fridays. I doubt there's just a Rumble audience that's out there. But he thinks that these are big numbers.
Not counting like Facebook and Kick, but like, who cares? Like 35 to 40,000 people will watch at a time one of Ethan's streams. I mean, that's something that I look up to. That's something where I'm like, oh shit, well that's pretty cool. But like all these other guys, I just kind of feel like I've done more than them, have more than them, am happier than them. It's just am in a situation I enjoy more than them. So I can't really see I don't feel any heat from them, and I don't feel like I'm in a feud.
So this is what's interesting about this. There's a lot of things there.
Saying all that out loud.
Well, 12,000 unique on YouTube is actually way worse than I thought it was going to be. I'm sure your channel, my channel, has a magnitude higher than that, unique viewers. I'm sure yours does too.
I don't even
Patrick,
know where.
I don't look at it.
I really don't like.
All right. There's an analytics on the back end that will show you.
I understand
all that information.
I just look at the money.
Well, think about this. So he says not only does he have more viewers than us, which is patently false, but also he's happier. Mm-hmm. This guy stresses out about the goal. He can't sleep at night. I sleep very well at night. I'm actually looking forward to my shows. Looking forward to talking to you guys today, breaking down the victorious week that Aaron had.
Yeah, when you say out loud how happy you are constantly, it's like yikes. He said it's like when he said a couple weeks ago that the past year was one of the best years of his life. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, or like when he keeps saying how he's not gay over and over again. It's like you could just be not gay or like be happy without needing to constantly.
He's forgetting to click his heels together when he says it.
All right. I pulled another clip. And if you want to talk about how happy this guy is with his viewership and the people who are watching his video, this really says it all. Have you guys seen him talking about the mods and what they should be doing with the chatters going forward?
Not recently.
This is fantastic. I think, this is from today, I think.
Hey, he's going to get there too. Also, I want to talk to the YouTube mods before we say bye to YouTube. You guys, we're done banning now. Like you can stop banning. Unless they dox anyone, kids' names, or they spam the chat like obsessive, crazy stalker retards. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. It's all good. You guys, I've been getting complaints. I got DMs yesterday from 2 people who said, I got banned. I don't know what I did. I don't really watch and police the YouTube chat except the super chats and the memberships and to thank people and stuff like that. The Rumble chat is always really busy. So I would say to the mods, your job is done. You're good. Let it go. I unbanned a bunch of people yesterday. I didn't jailbreak because the mods would get mad at me, all their hard work, blah, 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 blah. But I did check yesterday. There's been way too much banning going on. And maybe
that's interesting. We've all seen that there's no one chatting on YouTube Live anymore. Anyone who was chatting has been blocked, and they cannot
when you put like a live stream on TV, you on the right hand side of the screen you'll see, so like our faces right now will be covered by chats in front of us here. Throw poos in the chat to put poos on our faces, that sort of thing. So that's what happens on Aaron's chat. It goes away, like it disappears. There's nothing here. It looks like
I constantly have to check to see if chat is on.
Right.
And it is, but there's just, it's like that Chad, when Chad was like, hold on, chat's broken. Oh wait, there's just no one talking. It's like, yeah, exactly.
It just, because they disappear after like 10 seconds of being on, 10 or 20 seconds of showing up on there.
But
so
that's when Johnny's allowed to sit down. You're confusing the two things.
But he mods people who either give him a large sum of money and ask to be a mod, or people that are also emotionally stunted, spurgy people.
Right.
And then they go nuts. I mean, we've watched a million cycles of this where he tells people, go nuts, ban everybody. The next week he's like, everyone's unbanned. We're not banning anymore. This is not a new speech. This we're not banning anymore. It'll be next week. We'll have clips of him going like, you're out of here. You know what? You're gone. Just like Opie, just like Chad.
With him being extra smug about it. Ha ha ha. You wanted to be in my chat and now I'm
owning you because you want to talk to me and you're banned now.
You're my lol cow. Thanks for the milk. Like
obviously he gave orders to the moderators to shut everything down. Anyone who's there who's not a fan and gushing over the show is getting kicked out. And so we've all seen this, like you said, 0 comments. They're deleting comments after the fact. They're blocking people who are trying to comment during the show. Wouldn't this conversation, and hear me out, guys, wouldn't this conversation be better off being like not live on the show? If you wanted to tell the moderators a change in strategy or something, wouldn't it be less embarrassing to message them about this rather than talk about it live on the show?
Like yours, Carl, where you feel like you have to do everything in the shadows, you and your works, all of your gay ops that you do all the time.
Yep, that's
that
me.
might make sense.
This level of transparency is unprecedented.
The toe only takes what he needs, and he does all his planning out in the open. He does nothing behind the scenes. So
tell him when he's telling lies.
That's because I've been flippant and I've been saying, guys, go nuts, whatever. But just, take it. You guys can rest. You're good now. Take her easy. I think shit show is always fun.
That means he's good. When he's like, guys, take it easy. It means I'm feeling okay today.
Right.
Tomorrow he'll be losing his mind, telling his mods to ban everybody. I mean, again, it's what you were saying about heads I win, tails you lose. I cannot imagine being so unregulated as a person, that you don't have a baseline. Most of us have good days. We have bad days. Sure. But like most days are just days. We're just doing it. We're doing our thing. He has no baseline. He's way up or way down. And it's a signal of like,
not even in a day, like within 10 minutes, whether he gets donations or not. It can go from
the suck my dick. Yeah, he's crying into an egg sandwich, and then he's telling everybody to suck his dick. He's a winner. I can't imagine the mental health issues he has going on that don't allow him to find some sort of stasis in his happiness. Like he can't just be. He has to be great or be down.
He is literally a sociopath.
Yes.
I'm not mincing words here. You know, he likes to call you a PDF file. He likes to throw a lot of words around. He's a sociopath the way he behaves.
By the way, if don't ban people unless they're scrolling and going berserk in the chat, unless you're scrolling every 2 minutes, Melton's a PDF file, and that's allowed. That's allowed.
That's fine. That's okay. That's cool.
I don't. There's nothing about shit show. I think that's damaging. If anything, you need to leave a few people out there because it shows you what the other side of Steel Toe is, and people can go, thank God I'm not them. So take it easy, guys. Take a rest.
I mean, he spins everything. The chat was all clowning him, and he goes, this is great. People can see what idiots those guys are.
Well,
yeah, but you banned him.
The same thing when he came back Monday, and he's like, those guys are over there in their hug box pretending this weekend was a win.
Yeah.
But me and the rest of the internet, we're all like, this is so sad. It's like, well, there's no comments on your show, and you have comments turned off on your tweets. It's like, where's the rest of the internet? Allow the rest of the internet to comment. I same way as every other comment on my thing, I'll like it and heart it if it's making fun of me or not. I don't give a fuck. It's a good way to kind of keep some sort of self-awareness on the ratio of people who are hating on you or going along with your opinions. He doesn't allow any of it. So how would he know what the rest of the internet is doing?
I love when the internet always feels one way about every issue in his mind.
Yeah.
The internet this week, the internet says Hackamania was a failure. And the internet is all saying that like Steel Toe won by not doing anything at all. It's like, I find a wide range of opinions on everything.
The same sources. If QE Farms is piling on Nick, QE Farms is a source of record that needs to be taken into account in your opinions. But the minute Dean comes on, it's like, you're just one of those Kiwi Farms guys. And it's like, well, hold on a minute. I thought that was you check it first thing in the morning by your own words.
Moody, you, me, Patrick, we were all at Hackamania this past weekend.
What?
And it seemed to me that it was a success. Michaela might not think so, but I think everyone else had a blast, had a very good time at Hackamania. But it turns out we are all wrong, which is pretty crazy when you think about it.
Okay. Well,
whatever, because Melton's whole thing is already fading. Like the Hackamania thing showed, that being a bust and me kind of stepping in and barnstorming it. And
okay, let's talk about this. The fact that Eric is saying with a straight face that Hackamania was a bust is hysterical. This shows right here, the gaslighting has gotten to a new level. We need a new word for it because this is beyond even saying something like that. And then he's pretending that his roast video that Vito played on Biggest Problem destroyed us.
It did.
Well, nobody will ever know because I didn't show it and I shut the stream off.
So I don't know if you guys saw it. I did break down the video. Vito sent it to me. So I was able to go through and break down his roast of us. And nobody got the joke, the first joke that he built up to for the first 2.5 minutes, finally built up to that baby picture.
Yes, which that was.
You mean
weird.
My wife?
Yes. And everyone thought like, oh, is that really a picture of his wife when she was a baby?
No, he got a picture of a random baby and sexualized it.
I know what he did. I was following it. I got it. Most people did not. It was embarrassing. But Aaron also doesn't know how to actually execute on a roast joke, because rather than just hit the punchline and then move on, that's how a roast works. You hit the thing, it works or it doesn't, you move on. He would be like, huh? I mean, goo goo gaga, am I right, guys? He just kept talking about it like a radio guy over and over. You're like, That's not how roast jokes work.
Also, he made several jokes in that video. One, he said that him and Vito were part of the same file sharing group. He's calling himself a pedophile.
Correct.
Yes.
He doesn't know how to deliver joke. You're right.
Then he said that you were a closeted homosexual after saying you married a baby. It's like
a girl baby,
a female
yeah. baby. Like, wouldn't a closeted homosexual be way better than a PDF file? Not
to Aaron.
Right, that's what I mean. Like you've already taken it to this level, and now you're gonna nail him with this. Yeah, and plus his breath stinks. Like, yeah, you just said he was a pedophile. Like, what the fuck? So
it was weird. Like, it was so strange. And the NLO show later on, Patrick reveals that Rocco has been messing with Chad for the last few months.
Yeah,
trying to get him to make a video to be played at Hackamania. Beat for beat, almost, these two videos are identical. Like the way that they make fun of everyone, even the way that they end it. Chad hopes that Hackamania has a school shooter at the end of it.
Right.
And Aaron says, I hope everyone gets AIDS mixed with cancer.
Yes.
Like, it's just, they are very similar.
It's also like
abilities.
The AIDS versus cancer thing is just, it reeks of 2004 shock jockery. It's just like
Jim Norton. Yeah.
It's so insane. It's like this guy makes fun of his audience for like doing unfunny guys. Gay is hack. Like just calling something gay. We got to get a counter on the number of times he calls everything gay every day that he doesn't like.
But also going back to that roast, and I went back and watched it again because I was up on stage while this was happening. So I was looking out at the audience, and Aaron says he killed it. He got a huge pop. Yeah. Vito told him he got a huge pop. Go back and watch it on Biggest Problem. It's near the end of their episode. The only person laughing very loudly into his microphone is Vito.
Yep.
And when he did finally build that big, like, I hope you all guys get cancer AIDS at the end, Vito uproariously starts laughing, and I go, "How are you trying to sell this so hard? That was so obvious
He's
he was going
to with Aaron.
do that." I don't.
Going like, I don't know. He keeps going like, "Dude, he's stacking wins." It's like nobody believes that. Vito doesn't believe that. Come on.
I don't know what Vito believes at this point. I'm confused by all of it. But my point is, and you couldn't hear the audience that loudly. We didn't mic the audience or anything, but still, go back and watch that and tell me that any of his jokes got a big laugh. They did not. It did not work.
I mean, people were laughing, but it was like, because I was standing over the soundboard, and everyone, first of all, it took about a minute for everyone to like be able to stare at the screen like a magic eye because he didn't have his glasses on. It was
we're like, who's this?
Somehow that moves his eyeballs about an inch closer together, and it looks terrifying.
What about how it started out too? He's like, "Oh,
I didn't see you there."
Big reveal.
Yeah. No, people were laughing, but not on the same level that Aaron thinks they were laughing,
and not at the punchlines.
Chad didn't know for 2 days. I think it was Tuesday before Chad realized that his video wasn't played on Rocco's show; it was played on my show. He was bragging on Monday and Tuesday. Funny. He was like, and Rocco played my video, and I heard I was a star of Hackamania and killed it. We all made fun of Melton. It's like, oh, that's not what happened at all. Wait till you see the show.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. People were like at Aaron's thing, they were laughing at how long it was taking him to set up the cocaine joke.
God,
like,
yes.
It's just
because I even said on stage, I'm like, yeah, just get the fucking coke out. We know what you're doing. And I knew what this tag was going to be like. Oh, and this is his daughter's coke. And Nick actually had the best line. He yelled out, "She's not on probation."
Right. Yes. Also, he had duster and he thinks that's nitrous. I don't. He's so.
And he had the way he had to build to it too. It's just like, well, I mean, do you need to use your computer? You're on vacation. I don't know why he needs this duster. It's like, you get it. Moving on. Next.
Then his numbers going way, way down now.
Let me back this up a little bit because we're missing the point that Hackamania was a failure and everyone's numbers are going down after probably the most successful weekend in a very long time.
He has declared this a million times. I've always talked about pattern recognition in the Dabbleverse. Like there are people who do recognize patterns and don't recognize patterns. Chad just this week quit podcasting, came back to podcasting. Announced.
Did he come back? I wasn't even paying attention.
Announced the next day he was quitting again, and guess what? He was on again today. Chad's not going anywhere. Don't worry about it.
He had the dumbest thing too. Like if he wanted to try to fool people, just to get off on Chad real quick. If he wanted to try to fool people, he wouldn't be like, I've done everything I could do. I'm dominating podcasting. It's time to move on. I remember when Rush Limbaugh was like, well, I'm the number one conservative talk show host, so I guess I should leave now.
I
So that's how that works.
When he says these things, they're fleeting moments of him actually being really down and going like, I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do. So I'll say I quit. Lies are content to chat.
Right.
We've seen that for years.
Well, he tries to get guys like Rocco to perform a big work behind the scenes and stuff like that. And he can't get any alliances going because no one wants to work with the asshole. So now he has to do his own works with himself, and it's boring and predictable.
Half.
Back to
half, lump sum, whatever, because Melton's whole thing is already fading. Like the Hackamania thing showed, that being a bust and me kind of stepping in and barnstorming it, and then his numbers going way, way down now.
But he tells himself stories.
He does. Does he believe them, though? Because I think that we've uncovered back in December of 2023, when he still had April on the show and things were seemingly going well, he thought his career was fledgling.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because this week he said, and I'm sure you don't have this clip, but this week he said, when the Law Tubers stream, because most of his new audience is Law Tubers.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now, we've heard a million times that his audience is old school radio people, but now for some reason he's going on this thing like most of my audience are Law Tube fans. It's like, well, that doesn't even make any sense. You don't cover any law stuff. So like, why would Law Tubers be over here watching you during the Karen Reed trial? But he said when Law Tubers are streaming like Meme Copium, that his numbers go dog shit like they were when April was on the show. And you can, like he literally said, I couldn't believe it. I like, you can go back and look at any show April's on and there's more views than any show he's doing now.
Correct. Yeah.
That's a fact.
Of course. But the other funny thing about that, he also said this week, so he says, most of my new audience is Law Tubers. He also said this week, well, the reason why my numbers are down is because the weather's getting nice, and most of the people who watch my show are from Minnesota, and we only get 4 months a year where the weather's nice. So he's got all these different excuses. The numbers are down now because Meme Copium's on. They're down now because it's 80 degrees outside. They're down now because there's always a reason why numbers are down. It's amazing.
Why would I want a percentage of a dying entity?
All right, so that's him talking about the super tip system, the dying entity that nobody uses that you could go to right now using supertip.gg/WATP. We don't beg on here. I won't mention it again, but there is a goal. supertip.gg/WATP. And I want to thank Gonzo for coming in. Every king deserves his crown royal. We want Karmic. Yeah, Karmic, come on, man. When he said he quit,
Karmic. I'm sorry, we're not doing that this week.
When he said he quit drinking, yeah, there's no audience. When he said he quit drinking earlier this week, I went, oh no. There was some promise there, but
it wasn't.
I think it's good for him. Like honestly,
of course, it's good for him.
Today,
good for him.
You're a different person when you're not drinking. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I thought it would stop him from crying, but he did cry on his stream yesterday.
Well, when you lose Pat Dixon, it's tough.
The implication of stopping drinking is that you're not doing any other drugs, but he seems to be doing other drugs as well.
Yeah, this is Moody's theory that quitting the alcohol is going to push him further into other substances.
Yeah.
Really? Because alcohol mixes so well with Coke. I don't know. I just do one, not the
I
other.
don't know what the other substances are.
It's like any AA meeting, everyone's standing outside just chain smoking cigarettes.
That's true. That is
it's like Hackamania.
And sometimes it's a bad sign sometimes when someone who drinks like an alcoholic suddenly quits, but they do other drugs as well, because that implies that they're now spending that money on those other drugs.
Well, good news. I have not quit. All right. Nan Cram coming in.
Carl, have you noticed you love bringing up cuck and bull dynamics? What gives Buddy cucka? Love you more than a bull.
Love you more than a bull, Nan Cram. Thank you. Scarface.
Nick did one show from my basement. April serviced him and fed me like a baby bird. Enjoy your steel toe hug box. Cope and seethe. Another spin for the toe.
Did Nick do a show from Aaron's studio?
Probably.
I have not seen that, if that's true.
Yeah, I can't keep up with all this.
Also, April didn't feed him like a baby. I know that's the thing. April fed him like a baby bird, but no, it's like, sometimes if to stimulate, like to give my dog something to do, I'll throw kibble on the ground and he'll go around and pick it up. That's what Nick did essentially.
No, I think April had rubbed this cum all over her pretty titties, like she said, and she was letting it dry like kids used to do with Elmer's glue to let it dry on their hand and then peel it off later. but here, who comes in next? Steel Toe to ruin the day and lick it all up before it's dry.
He had Hawaii on there, and she just took the Etch-a-Sketch and just fucked it all up.
Yep.
I want to thank James Gartner coming in with $50. Fuck Aaron. Thank you, James. We appreciate that very much so on the fledgling failing supertip.gg/WATP. We do not beg on this show. We will not say it again. Supertip.gg/WATP is where you can go to give us money, as Tukey would say.
Thank you for the tremendous weekend. I'm still recovering. Can't wait until Hackamania 3.
Thank you, Muda. I have to say, for all the people who said last year was a failure because of USB cables and bed bugs, and this year is a failure again, you can't have a failure and then just keep doing it every year and watch it grow and get better and better. That's not how failures work.
It was good.
It was
on
so
USB
good.
cables.
It was so smooth. Like there was just no problems this week.
You yelled at me a couple times, Patrick, but that was deservedly so.
I had nothing to yell about, and I was just fishing for something.
Yeah.
Patrick got right in my face. I was like, man, I'm sorry. That's totally my fault. And you go, dude, I'm just looking for something to get mad about. This is going too perfectly.
The only thing bugging me is it was nothing bugging me.
Right.
I was just looking for fights. And Carl just sitting there, his Hawaiian shirt going, I don't know, man. And I'm like, well, this is no fun if you're not going to fight back.
Yeah. You're like, I sent out an email specifically so this wouldn't happen. I'm like, yeah, I know. I fucked up.
We didn't even get through the conversation where I went, I'm not even really mad. I don't know what I'm doing.
The day before Hackamania, Patrick and I put together a TV stand with zero arguments. He didn't yell at me once.
Weird.
That's real love. That's real love.
Just the opposite, I think. I feel like you're not into each other anymore. Beloved chatter, $5. Aaron has comments on his video set to approved. Imagine having such a big show and needing to review every single comment. Must take all day. Oh, so on YouTube, you can have it so no comments show up until you go in and approve them, which is a crazy way to live your life.
Well, he's just expecting the best out of the audience. So he wants to train them to only the cream of the crop. Is
he grooming his audience? Is that what you're saying, Moody?
That must mean while he's touching grass, he's also got his phone in his hand in the other hand and approving comments.
Creator Studio is on there. Dark
but hold
Side.
on. If that's true, then again, why are there zero comments on that big? And by the way, he had 4,000 views on that show. It's his biggest show in months and months.
Yeah,
maybe 6 months. It's his biggest show, and there's no comments on it. So where is the rest of the internet?
So he claimed that it was because Hackamania failed so badly, people wanted to see what his reaction was to it. But I'd say it's the exact opposite.
They were there for the spin.
Right. Everyone wanted to see the spin. But the reason that there's no comments is because he needs to actively go and say, yes, this comment's okay.
Sorry, I was just pulling up the video, and yeah, there's zero comments on it. My comment did not last. I found a comment after you said that, and it's gone.
Almost a week later, there's no comments, and he says the whole internet is with him. Like, where are they? You would buy comments.
Look at this. It's got 4.1 thousand views from 4 days ago, and zero comments.
And again, 4.1 is almost double what he normally gets. This was a big show for him.
And live chat replay is not available, which means he edited this somehow.
Or turned it off.
Is this the one where Kiki calls in? Because that was wild.
No, that was the Monday night show. That was later on in that day.
His eye is twitching. Like
when she says Kayla, he's like,
oh, God.
Okay, gotta go.
And then he dumps her real fast after that.
All right, thank you, beloved chatter, for that. Dark Side Aaron, I like that name.
I thought I was good at make-believe, but this button penis has me looking rational.
So that's one of the did systems that we talk about on Who Are These Socials, who is multiple people living inside one body. And that's something that has not been addressed by Aaron, to my knowledge, is his button penis. Has he brought that up at all? I know he's tried to tackle some of the other topics that came up.
I think he's talked about being embarrassed by his penis on many shows.
Oh, okay.
But he also says it's very gay to be talking about his penis, which I mean, I'll give that to him.
Sure.
It's fair enough.
Yeah, I did get uncomfortable when Nick was talking about his penis a lot on that show. I was like, all right, man, this isn't the Nick has a big dick show, but I'll let you go for a little bit.
But look, the whole thing is this man has just spent the last year bringing out all these intimate details out into the open. And these 3 people who are involved haven't been able to say anything.
Right.
So it's well within their rights, I think, that they can
It needed
bring
to
up
happen.
anything that they want. Yeah.
If this had never happened, I would have blue balls for the rest of my life because I'll never forget the day that, or not that week, that he went on the media tour and spilled all this. And I went, everyone else is going to have their side of the story, buddy. I don't know what you think you're doing right now.
Because it was insane. Like, the sorts of questions he was getting asked by complete strangers was wild. Like, I think I remember Kino Casino asking if he, like, Kayla was into anal. Like, what is even the purpose of a question like that? It seems
to humiliate
very,
people.
Right. Like, it's not even about, like, it's not salacious. It's just really intrusive.
What was his answer again? No, I'm kidding. What's that, Patrick?
You're saying Nick can't talk about penis, but you can talk about your balls, and that's not gay? Come on, man. Come on.
You got me there. You got me there. Wow, James Gartner coming in with another 50. Again,
nice.
Fuck Aaron. Thank you, James.
Wow.
$100 well spent, my friend. Good points being made. Nancram comes back again.
The Mutt and Bailey fallacy, also known as the Mott and Bailey fallacy, is a type of informal argument where someone presents a controversial position. But when challenged, retreats to a more easily defensible one, Mott. They then may falsely imply that defending the Mott proves the original Bailey claim.
Shut your effing kiwi face, Moody. Nobody cares. F you.
Yeah, actually, Lisa Boswell brings up a very good point on that.
Nobody cares.
Thank you very much for doing that. James Gartner with another 20 coming in. Fuck Aaron.
He's hot.
Cum dumpster. Yeah, he's got a lot of good points here that he's making. Supertip.gg/WATP. It's the last time I'll say it. We're not begging on the show. We need to hit the goal. We're almost to the goal, but we're not at the goal yet. We will stay on as long as it takes. Overtime is already happening. We need the goal. Mark Davis. Big Sauce has loved every comment I've ever left on a video. Maybe that's why I watch. I might be a cuck. Gotta go.
I just want you to know you're seen.
You do go in and like comments.
Yeah.
He loves comments.
That's sweet of you.
It's
you should probably get outside and touch grass more, but there's not a lot of grass for you.
I'll tell you the real reason. It's my autism in the app. It clears them out.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Chris Angler coming in. I never watched Steel Toe and don't know why I find this compelling, but here I am. Thanks for all the laughs. You don't have to watch Steel Toe in order to watch This Little Piggy. It's not a requirement.
Yeah, we do it so you don't have to.
Correct.
Right.
It's not a requirement.
It's a lot easier to do it through someone else. And for us, it's easier because when we do watch Steel Toe, it doesn't feel like as much of a waste of time because there's this creative outlet that it's being done for.
Chad Zumimic, 1002. Take that.
Yeah.
Take that, Patrick. You're no longer the leaderboard. I don't think that counts.
Fuck. Yeah, for people who don't know, I gave Nick Ricada a $1,001 super tip on, what was it, Wednesday?
He really disrespected me, too.
Yeah, and he just kept like, I think he was fucking with me. Either way, I'm the highest super tipper ever on my own platform. That's how you know a platform is failing, by the way. When the creators have to go on.
Oh, hold on. I just came up with a really funny idea. You know what would be really fun is if someone beat that record right now on This Little
Carl's
Piggy.
Show. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be so fun, you guys? It'd be so funny if someone gave me over $1,000.
It's eating Carl alive that he's never gotten $1,000 super tip. He's one. Bubba's gotten one. I've gotten 6. Nick's gotten one. Carl's never gotten one. It's eating him alive. Help put him out of his misery.
Carl, people say that you're not funny, but holy shit, that was
Moody,
insane.
You just gave me an idea. We should recreate Steel Toe, and you could be Johnny Crutches, and I'll be Aaron. We'll do a
I need
parody
to
version.
No, you're the one with the atrophied legs.
That's
you
true.
should be Johnny Crunch.
That's true. I was wearing shorts this past weekend. Some people noticed my legs are very thin.
They were like, if you do a handstand, it would look like you've got thicker legs.
That's true. My forearms are thicker than my
Moody's
calves.
not gonna be on this show again. Carl's gonna get angry.
Dame Taft, $2. Moody, what did you buy with the $30? Hashtag bingo buddies.
It was $39 for bingo. I won $30 back, but they give you 2 free drinks. So
Right, yeah,
I
free
paid
drinks.
$9 for drinks. That's what I did.
God, I pissed off. The woman next to me was so nice because she was explaining everything to me. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't wrap my head around it. And so she was explaining it to me. I'm like, oh, is that what's going on? Okay, thanks. And then she's showing me the booklet and it's showing me what patterns you have to get based on which game we're on. And finally, she like moved away from me. I think.
See, I
she got
didn't
very
even
annoyed.
bother learning. At one point, I had 5 across, and I just yelled bingo. And I was like, everybody was like, "No, you got to get the whole card." And I was like, "Oh,
Carl,
never mind."
Carl, so someone unsubscribed from you in real life.
Yes.
Right, yes. Unsub. I don't need this. Everyone's been complaining about bingo, but the crazy thing about this game, if you haven't played this before,
So
is that
retarded.
you literally sit in front of a screen, and then when the screen says bingo, you yell bingo. That's everything you need to know about the rules of this game.
Yeah, it's. I make fun of slot machines because I'd say people are just hitting a button and asking a computer if they won.
Yep.
But this is you don't even have the button. You're just sitting
You just
there,
sit there
and
and
it'll
look.
come up. I wanted to know if I could sign up for like a text. Can you just like let me know? Can you text me?
Yeah,
if
can I
hit
go walk
bingo?
around the
Like,
casino?
yes.
I'll play blackjack and let me know if I won.
I will say it was 40 minutes long or something like that. It was the perfect amount of time for us all to sit in there and make fun of it.
Yes.
Because we would have got, if this thing went 2 hours, we would have all gotten kicked out.
No, for sure. And it was a perfect amount of time that it cracked me up every time when there'd be like N23 and you just hear, yay! Gonzo, member for 21 months, says, Moody, don't insult Chad Zumach by comparing his video to Aaron's. Chad is the Albert Einstein of common sense compared to Toe.
I don't know. It's a
I don't know.
toss-up.
I don't know about that.
Tell me you don't watch Chad without telling me you don't watch.
Right, yes. All right. Let's get into this big win for the Toe. I'm curious as to how a weekend where we showed texts there where he said he'd pick April over his children. There was evidence that he slurped cum up off of his wife that was someone else's. Not that that makes anything different. There was a lot that went on, but for some reason, this was his big victorious weekend, Hackamania.
No, Red Scoper. Paul's not a radio guy. He's management. He doesn't have any talent. Notice they didn't laugh at him. And he
Insane.
Is he the
Paul
host
has
of the
Paul
host
is
of
the
the morning show?
the number one show in the market. The number one morning show in the market, Paul is the host of. He's not a radio guy. Aaron, if you're a radio guy, Paul's a radio guy. He's on the radio. Like, this is an insane statement.
Yes.
He's the content director for a radio group. He is the number one host of the number one show in the morning in the market. What insanity is this?
This is the problem that I think Aaron runs into, is that everything's in absolutes. So Paul Shea has no talent, and he'll say that about other people too who are very successful at this kind of thing. And you're like, well, how could that be? How would he have the number one radio show if he has no talent and be in management and have a job like that where he's running things? Wouldn't that mean he's probably pretty talented?
These guys were buddy. He wanted to be buddy with this guy months ago before he blew up his spot. He was, it's my old high school buddy. We grew up together. Maybe him and I should be talking about getting Steel Toe back on the air. And now it's just like, this guy doesn't know anything or have any pull in radio.
Yeah,
it's such a small market in St. Cloud that usually the hosts of the shows also do other things.
Right.
So
for Aaron, it was sales. And for this guy, it's running the entire station at multiple stations.
Aaron is arguably not one of, he was just selling spots on his own show.
Right.
So it was like he had bought the spots essentially to get those. That's a very strange arrangement, but cool. All power to him. There's one of the people he's meeting next week, Chris Valentine, I think. That guy does a similar thing where he's got a show with his wife And he's also in charge of programming for
the show with his wife. Gay
blatant media. Yeah, so some of these guys
does
do
that?
shows with their wives.
I have another reason Aaron might not ever go back to radio. I mean, look, wouldn't all these guys, since they're in charge of hiring and they do their own shows, wouldn't they be a little scared of bringing back this much talent? Wouldn't they be scared of the competition?
That's a good point. Yeah, might lose my slot in the morning.
Yeah,
slots.
Steel Toes box office, baby.
Bombed, and he's like, "Well, Aaron just had a lot of friends in school, and he played sports."
Nobody said that.
Yeah,
nobody said.
He just recreates history all the time. It's amazing.
Aaron had a lot of friends. That is what was said.
And he played a lot of sports. He said he played baseball.
He had 3 or 4 friends that I think a lot of them. One of them I think has passed away, but the other few are still around. And they're his
Jesus,
friends.
Moody, you brought down the whole show now.
Maybe there was so much white on April's chest, he thought it was home base, and that's why he slid into it.
Safe.
I'm so obsessed with Aaron that I go and watch that Friday Hug Box show just so I can be mad at him. It's like,
no, Aaron, people find this entertaining. They actually enjoy watching this to laugh at you.
Also, you just got done yelling at your mods for kicking out all the haters, and we're in the Hug Box?
Right.
bro, even Tukey made fun of him while when he left. It's like all of this stuff was set up to make me look bad. And like,
hold on a second. Did Aaron watch these shows or not? It sounds like he watched these shows.
But
so he knows what happened. If Tukey got one dig in and that was his takeaway from Paul's appearance.
Right. Yeah, he's watching. But if the shoe was on the other foot, Aaron would be covering this nonstop. Like if Paul Shea was spinning out every day and like there's eating cum accusations gone, I can't imagine him doing anything close. He's such a nice man.
He's so insane. He talks about how like, oh, Dabbleverse is embarrassing. If you're part of the Dabbleverse, that's so embarrassing. The reason why any of us know who Aaron is because he wanted to start going after Chad Zumach and Stuttering John to be part of the Dabbleverse.
Also, my guest tonight is an MLC fan, Karmic.
Right.
But if like Paul had entered into a very scandalous life, Aaron would be going over it and saying, I went to high school with this guy. I was at a wedding with this guy. He'd turn his entire show to it. As far as I understand, Paul hasn't mentioned Aaron on his own show.
He flips everything so much. I wouldn't be surprised if we find out that Nick's kids were actually the ones feeding Aaron SpaghettiOs. They were the one preparing SpaghettiOs for Aaron while he sat pouting at the kitchen table.
Nick has said that. So I think one of his first appearances here on This Little Piggy is before he was talking about any of the details or getting into anything. He did say that a lot of the stories that Aaron told were true, but he would change who the characters were and make him the main character doing the thing. So you're right. There's a very good chance that Nick was the one warming up food for the kids or any of these stories where he plays the hero was actually Nick going, why'd you bring Coke over to my house? I have kids here, you idiots.
Yes.
Or the one with the Blue Chews or whatever they were, with April coming into the room saying, Nick can't get it up. And the whole story was about how like Nick couldn't get it up. It's like, why would Aaron have those, the Blue Chews with him?
Right.
It's because Nick told him about them and because he had problems. Like
Correct.
It's all... I don't know how
when he left, it's like all of this stuff was set up to make me look bad, and like everyone, the harder people tried, the more that particular person bombed. It was great, dude. It was like my best case scenario of how much better I could have looked by comparison to these retards. It ended up so much better than my best imagination of the whole thing. Says you would be the
wow. That's his takeaway.
That is what happened.
that is precisely what happened.
Everybody walked out of that room going like, that was it?
Yeah. I think we took a poll to make sure that everyone got their money.
I asked people all weekend long, did it live up to 2 questions? Did it live up to the hype? And was it worth coming out? Are you happy you came out to Hackamania? How was this? Is all I do the whole weekend. I want feedback. I'm looking for ideas. I want to know what we can do better. The whole week, I must have asked 100 people, like, did it live up to the hype? And they went, the answer, not one person went, meh. Everyone went, oh, God, yes.
Like there were only 14 people there. So did you ask everyone like 8 times? How does that work? Okay.
Yes.
It was This Little Piggy alone, I think, provided enough enough entertainment.
I mean, Who Are These Podcasts was great too, but no, sure, Moody, the show you were on was the one that was.
It was honestly every
cocaine.
show was good this year. You know, last year, particularly, I'll pick on myself. Last year, it was such a spiral that I kind of went up and just had a breakdown on stage and just was talking to people with no plan. Everyone had a show plan this year. Everyone did a professional show except for Rocco.
Where is that?
If you haven't watched Toogie Soup, go watch it. It's worth it just for them ragging on each other over the tech issues.
Dude.
It's so good.
No,
it's so great.
The best was Cardiff's song.
Yeah,
It's so fantastic.
This is what I'm saying in earnest.
Yeah.
Like every show is great. Every show is good. It's one of the reasons next year I think we'll space out the shows more and give people a break in between them and maybe do them on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Because people want to break. People don't want to miss shows, but also there's no breaks.
Five podcasts in a row, 3 p.m. till midnight.
It's a long
day. Yeah, it's too much.
And it's fun, but you can't really leave. So I want people to be able to watch every show. I think a 2-hour break in between shows would be amazing. Mm-hmm. And it would allow everybody to do as long as they want to do. So yeah, that's one note I definitely will take into account for next year. I think it'll be. I don't think the venue will have any problem having us for 3 days.
Right.
Better than my best imagination of the whole thing. Says you would be the expert on cocaine habits. No, remember, I'm too much of a pussy to be a drug addict. What? I mean, thanks for the compliment, I guess. I was too scared to let cocaine run his life. I mean, I'll say this. Accurate. Okay. I was definitely too scared.
So he's too scared to let cocaine run his life. Yet, for some reason, 3 weeks after starting it, he's like, I'm ready to throw my kids away. Like, what do you mean? Either the cocaine had taken over your mind, or you actually don't give a shit about your kids.
Right. That's a great point. That's a great point. Because he says, dude, January 3rd, we started this polycule thing around December 17th, 18th, somewhere in there. And on January 3rd, I was so out of my mind on drugs that I was willing to throw my kids away.
Yeah.
But here he's like, I only did it a couple times. I wouldn't let it take over. It's like,
he was in control the whole time. Yeah.
You continue to choose the show over your children when they're over at your house and you run downstairs to do a show. The entire time you were married to April, she was the one picking them up. She was the one cooking. She was the one tucking them into bed. The night he proposed to April, she was cleaning up supper and getting the kids ready for bed with their bath.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron doesn't care about his children.
And you got the kids to do the proposal, not him.
Right. He called
Scared
it
to
show
let
prep.
cocaine run my life. There's something about seeing other people just quickly destroy themselves and become different people that makes you think, maybe not for me. That's why they call me Courage the Cowardly Dog. That's why and by the way, I'm sure nobody will mock that up. I'm sure they won't. I saw this clip. I don't want to talk about this kind of shit today. Yeah, I guess one of the WATP guys was on Hughesy's show and he was snaking the shit out of Nick and saying like, I thought it was a bad look and a terrible idea for him to come to Las Vegas. It was retarded. He's spiraling, this and that. Like he's no better than Aaron, because all these people are like anti-Aaron people, except Hughes. Hughesy's cool, but he's like he's no better than Aaron in any way.
Except Hughesy, who set you up for the sandbagging that was Aussie guy, and he's still just like, Hughesy didn't know that was gonna happen. He set you up for that. He didn't care about talking about boxing with you, you idiot. It's funny that that's his last ally, somehow. I want to get to this part.
He lost Jesse PS this week, so he's feeling real bad.
Oh,
about that.
dude. I actually have a clip coming up that I want to play on here where he is continuing to wash his balls. He loves Jesse PS. He's the greatest guy ever. I mean, it's ridiculous.
If Aaron's plugging you or talking good about you, we said it before, he thinks he can manipulate you.
Yes.
And he thinks he can control you.
Jesse
or he
PS
wants to desperately.
On his show, JCPS suggested that Aaron should put a gun to his head and blow his brains out. Like,
hilarious.
It's like, this guy's my guy.
Now that would get some views. That could get 50,000 uniques.
Here we go.
No, bro, my story stayed exactly the same.
Oh, yeah. Let me back this up a little bit. This is very funny. Oh, he's wearing his Anthony Cumia shirt on this one. That's fun.
was funny. The clip I watched, he's like, but Aaron lies about everything. He doesn't even know he's lying. He lies day to day, and it changes. And it's like, no, bro, my story stayed exactly the same. Plus, isn't it like this week alone you've confirmed like 3 things I've said, like your dick not?
Okay. Aaron is claiming that his story has stayed exactly the same and that it never changes. Now, we saw a Monday show where his story changed multiple times during the show. April's great. April's a whore. Everything that he was reacting to was on both sides of it.
And we also know that Aaron never lies because, except if there's wolves around.
The whole reason why I'm on this show, why we're doing this thing, is because Aaron was lying for 5 months straight, and I thought he was an honest guy. And I went, guys, there's nothing going on with April. There's nothing happening here. All he was doing was lying and getting angry about it.
Carl's
yeah, no shit. And now he's sitting here saying that his story never changes.
Yeah, on an alternate timeline, it could be you traveling to Minnesota to do Hackamania with Steel Toe.
Right. Yeah, if they would have gotten over on you and April comes down, like, we got you. There's nothing going on here. April's fine. Like, fuck you, Melton, you idiots.
Working, the K-holes, bunch of other, like, Aaron has been spot on about everything. Here's what it really is. Nick's just...
Yeah.
He's saying here that I told you Nick's dick doesn't work. That was confirmed. Okay. Yeah. Nick's dick had to work for him to come on April's chest and you to lick it off. Second of all, Nick's
also to blow out her pussy. Let's not forget the
bloody sheets.
Bloody sheets. That's a big part of the story.
But also, and by the way, that first text he sent December 19th about, being jealous. Like, I come home after all day of not seeing my queen and you guys run to the bathroom. This was after Nick's birthday when I think they may have had sex for the first time.
Yep.
And Aaron probably heard that from the other room and went, oh no, oh no, oh no. So that's when the regret started kicking in. But Nick's been releasing texts all week, and Nick released a text where Aaron texts Nick and says, I'm so embarrassed. This doesn't usually happen. The old it happens to a lot of guys thing.
Yeah.
Where he says, like, I don't know what to do. Like, I can't get hard. And Nick says, well, we're doing a lot of drugs. And they do have, cocaine dick, whiskey dick. These are things that everyone knows about. They're things that happen. And Nick says, well, try these. Go to this website and try these boner pills. And Aaron literally is like, oh my God, thank you. We've seen that text. It came out this week. So
yes.
So what is this that he's going on
Dude,
about?
can you believe that he knew how to fix my ED? I mean, imagine knowing how to fix my ED. What a loser. He obviously has ED if he can fix mine.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. Well, all right, let's talk about that real quick, because he does mention the text messages that are coming out all week.
Obviously. I will say, like, Nick cannot stop showing people texts from the good old days. He misses me bad. And what's funny is nobody will sit him down, because none of these people are his friends. Like, they're milking him. He's their lol cow. Nobody will explain to him that, dude, Aaron living the way he's living now and Aaron leaving the situation takes whatever is in those texts and makes them null and void. Whatever he felt at the time he was making those texts, he did not feel that way at the end.
Wow. So no one's explaining to Nick what his spin is and what his cope is. I can't believe none of Nick's friends will tell him, no, you got to understand how Aaron spins this before you put all that out there. Can you believe that? This is a guy, we're talking about text from just over a year ago. And he's going, yeah, but guys, that actually makes me look better, that I used to feel that way and now I don't.
Also, I didn't know that Nick was our locale. Are we doing this show wrong?
We are, yes.
Should it be This Little Lawyer?
Also,
should we start anew?
Guys, let's launch it on Thursdays. What do you say?
Okay, then let's take this argument from Aaron. Nick supposedly gave his kid cocaine a year ago. He's not doing that anymore.
That's
so
true.
Why are you holding that over his head?
He got arrested. He got corrected. He's out of that lifestyle. It's null and void.
Now. What are we worried about anymore about any of that stuff?
It's a crazy argument that he has right here. And then there's some serious projection coming up.
There's one that he put out there that said, I told April, I go, hey, I'll be back in a little bit and we'll go look at that house. Snow was still on the ground. It was like February when Nick was trying to sell us the house. He's like, you can move into this house. This house is great. I didn't know he was in foreclosure. I mean, everything Nick does that seems friendly, rest assured there's another clandestine thing behind it. So with the house, he releases this text message. This was like February, maybe sooner. I know there was snow. I know we had to walk through the snow.
The beginning
and April and Nick was like, you guys could.
The beginning of that text message is April talking about reading the letter and how she cried.
Right.
This was in April. It was not in February. There can still be snow on the ground in April in Minnesota.
Yes.
This guy is so full of shit. And by the way, he gets every timeline wrong for everything. Like he loves to lie about
on purpose, or do you think he's just lying?
It's like when the text message between April and Ashley came out alleging physical and psychological abuse, and he said, well, of course, now that we're getting divorced, she's bitter and she's putting this out there.
This is what ex-wives do.
2 years before.
2022. Right.
It's less than a year into your marriage. She's saying you physically abused her.
And like the foreclosure happened much later as well. It was like near the end of like mid to end of last year, because they used to have a couple that lived there, and Nick kicked them out so that Aaron and April can move in. And I guess with the lost income from that and all the other stressful things happening, they missed payments. And
there's so many texts this week. I don't remember what's been made public or not, but I've seen a text, and I don't know if it's out there, but it's Aaron wanting the house, saying he feels bad. They got to get the house. And Nick is saying, don't worry about the house right now. Fix your life.
Right.
Nick is saying to him, like, don't worry about the house. And Aaron's like, but you kicked the people out for us. We said we were going to buy it. And Nick is literally saying, don't worry about the house. Nick wasn't obsessed with getting him to buy this house, from what I've seen in texts.
He already had April. April already moved in. He doesn't need her to be the next door neighbor. She lives with him now.
Well, he was getting April delivered to his house.
Right.
He didn't need her next door.
So if you're not following all of this, because there's a lot to break down, what we found out was Aaron, as soon as early April, was telling April that he'd be willing to go look at the house and please wait for me. I'll go meet up with you. We'll take a look at the house to determine whether he wanted to buy it or not, which would separate him from his family, which would change whatever situation he has with seeing his children, because he'd be an hour away. And so he might not see his kids anymore. So that was apparently when he'd already reformed and quit the polycule and decided that he was moving on with his life. And what he's saying here is that happened in February. But of course, as Patrick just said, this was part of a thread where April had already received the letter, the last-ditch effort to try to win her back. That was a terrible effort to try to win her back.
I think I know what's happening. He's confusing fallen snow with fallen angels.
Ah, that would make sense.
Well, there was snow. I know we had to walk through the snow. And April and Nick was like, you guys could buy this. Oh, you could buy this. Oh, yeah, great.
We also found out that it was Aaron's idea to buy the house, according to Nick Rekieta. I can't remember if there was a text message or if Nick just said that. But he did say that was Aaron came to him and said, oh, what if we bought this house?
Right.
Because you got to remember, Aaron's looking for clout at this point. In December, he wrote that his career.
Whole reason for the relationship with Nick. He was like, I want a YouTube mentor.
Yes. In December, he sent a text message saying that his career was going into the shitter. And so he's looking for clout. He sees that Nick's got a bigger platform and more viewers. And so what if I moved in next to Nick and then we could be doing each other's shows and I could get his audience? That's what he's thinking.
Which again is why he climbed on April's chest. He's trying to get some of that Nick dust to rub off on him.
Of course. Maybe if I have sex with his wife, I'll be a good
YouTuber. I need Nick's essence so that I could be a success.
Yes,
I need his mojo. And then so that was the December 1st of January.
Right here he's saying, Nick, put it right here. Sorry, Moody. God.
Yeah, so 1st of January they get the HRO.
Yes.
It's literally marked the first HRO of 2024. It's number 1. So they get the HRO on the 1st of January. And so it seems like he might lose the kids. He's lost the relationship with Ashley. She doesn't like him nearly as much as before. And so that's why a couple days later he was saying, I might be losing the kids and I'd be okay with that, but April's more important. So it's talking about that move there. He's weighing up, do I stay where I am and keep the kids, or do I move and lose them?
It's another thing too of him saying in April, let's go look at the house, when he was talking about getting this house in January. It's like, you haven't looked at the house yet?
Mm-hmm.
I guess people were living there.
Yeah.
So he couldn't go actually go into the house and look at it until right. Okay.
But then he said April's ultimatum to him was, let's buy the house.
Right.
And then
he was like, nope, I'm out. No, you were like, I'll be back. If you can wait till after my show, I'll be right over.
Right. Yeah. You probably got a speeding ticket. I'm just waiting to look at the house, as these guys are ought to do. Guys, there's a goal today, but there's no begging. I want to just remind everyone that I'm not even going to bring up the way that you can support the show, superchip.gg/WATP. That's not going to get brought up here because that's the worst part of the show. It feels gross. I hate doing it. All the Clippers clip it, and then they put together these compilations that makes it look like the show is just me saying supertip.gg/WATP. Supertip.gg/WATP.
Good.
Let's check out what people are saying. Hunter Duke, another friend of the show who was hanging at Hackamania all weekend with us. Muda, Mrs. Duke and I are still bummed we missed bingo. God dang, eating berries got in the way. Patrick is right. Get the rib cap.
You made the right decision, Hunter Duke. Like,
you did make the right decision.
That would have been a much better way to spend that hour.
Yes.
Aaron the Abuser coming in with 5. Look, guys, I'm getting really tired of y'all calling me an abuser. I just might get legal with all of this, so tell that pedo Melton that I'm coming. I do have that somewhere. I have a link to that somewhere in my notes. I'll find it. But yeah, he started threatening legal action. She's like, this abuser talk has to end. Meanwhile, he can throw out all sorts of allegations about anyone that he wants. It's amazing how that works.
I must here state something definitely. German has kept these obligations. The minorities who live in Germany are not persecuted. No Frenchman can stand up and say that any Frenchman living in the...
All right. Thanks, KFT. Cool. I think there's more. Okay, here's KFT with some more.
I must here state something definitely. German has kept these obligations. The minorities who live in Germany are not persecuted. No Frenchman can stand up and say that any Frenchman living in the...
2 Nick ears broke into my house and sodomized me. My wife happened to film it. It was horrible. Mouth and anal. Is walked every ounce for DNA purposes.
I have no idea what this is saying.
There's a lot going on right there. I'm not sure what's going on. But my buddy James Gartner is coming back again with another... $5. I probably dropped a bullet next to some dumb kid.
Well, the theory now is that it might have been April's bullet.
Mm-hmm. Sure, why not?
Because he said that when he told April, she lost her mind and started defending everybody.
Right?
Is it? I mean, it's possible that this was April's because we know that he said that he gave April a bullet of cocaine to have on the go. Like, you're going home with your husband. You're going to need this.
Yes.
Like.
And Nick,
by the
may
way,
have
what a
taken
nice guy he
ownership
is
of
for
it.
doing that.
I don't know. Like, to protect April, he may have claimed it, but who knows? Like, does it?
It doesn't matter.
Really
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Coach Lev Kramar. Carl refuses to say my name correctly. Kramar. I think I just did it. I think I actually nailed it.
You're doing it first time.
Yes, I didn't even see what he wrote. I was just really focused on getting that name right. On this
now hit him with a skibbity toilets. Let's go.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off, all of you. I won't stand for it.
Great house. Oh, good house. I didn't know that he couldn't pay his bills. I didn't know that he was in foreclosure. So this was kind of a weird strong arm kind of thing that I didn't know was happening. I smartened up eventually and I said,
he couldn't pay the bills. He couldn't pay the bills because he kicked out the people paying rent there so that you could buy the house.
Yeah. Also, how bad is your real estate agent if she doesn't tell you that the house you're about to buy is in foreclosure?
Right.
Like, if you can go on Zillow and see that.
No shit.
I smartened up eventually and I said, no. That was that night that he sent me that text message telling me to kill myself because I said I ain't coming back. I'm not staying here. Absolutely not.
That's a hell of a sales tactic. Really? You're going to buy this it's like the Jerky Boys. You're going to buy this fucking house. I smash his face into the door. You buy this fucking I sell some houses. I move houses over here. The fuck?
And then he got all mad. He's like, "You lied to me, you yourself." And it's like, and I said, "Okay, addict," and then I blocked him. But he wants it to seem like
way to win that conversation. Mm-hmm. He won by blocking him.
There's another text that came out, and I've heard, I think even Moody said that he was talking about Ashley in it, where he says, "I hate my wife." He's talking about April.
Right.
He says, "I hate my wife. She broke the rules of this whole thing.
Correct.
She's sleeping with other people."
Right.
This was about April. He says, "I hate my wife."
Yeah, it was a different. It was a different.
Well, I've heard somebody say that was about Ashley, but either way, like, no. This is a crybaby. He got kicked out of this thing. He saw it not going his way, and he blew it up. This is flipping over the Monopoly board when you're losing. Yes. That's what he did.
Like, oh, I just tried to help so much. Nick's idea of helping is doing this. Nick's idea of helping is me going to him and having a...
Okay, I want you to listen to this carefully. This is the type of projection that I find to be fascinating. Aaron's a guy that you could study in a psychology classroom. It'd be amazing. So listen to what he's saying here.
Helping is doing this. Nick's idea of helping is me going to him and having a man-to-man talk and going, too much cocaine going on here. It's an addiction. It's a problem. She's not cut out for that. You can do whatever you want. I don't give a shit about you. She's got to stop doing so much coke. And then she would get mad at me that I would confront her on the coke thing. She would go to, then he would say to me, he would go, "Oh, I'm helping you. Absolutely. I've got your back, brother. I've got your back." And then he would go to April and go, "It's okay. The coke is fine." You know, he'd give her the old here to here speech. And I don't know why he's being so obsessive. I don't know why he's lording over you on this coke thing. Maybe it's like a controlling deal. Nick was the very classic one thing to you, another thing to someone else, pit two sides, like real sociopath shit.
Okay, number one, it's insane to claim that April's not built for speed. That's just an insane claim. Aaron couldn't hang. So his whole claim is like, dude, April's not made for this. April was loving every fucking minute of it. Second of all, I lost my train of thought. Somebody else go and I'll think of it.
Okay, so what I was going to say to that is, so Aaron's saying that this person will say one thing to one person and another thing to another person. Yeah. And let's remember the letter that Aaron wrote to April in the month of April was all about how he was a monster and he was too controlling and it's all his fault and she just done nothing wrong. Meanwhile, all he talks about is how April was out of control with drugs and did everything wrong and he couldn't do anything.
And we've seen in multiple texts now, Aaron manipulating people. He used this phrase specifically to several people several times. "I hold no animosity towards you."
Right.
This is like his catchphrase during that time. We see it at the end of several texts. "I hold zero animosity towards you." Days later, weeks later, I mean, this guy's unloading everything he's got on these people. Like, to say you have no animosity,
it's nothing but animosity. It's nothing
right.
But
we see the jealousy
it's full revenge.
Out 1 week into this arrangement.
It's full revenge mode going.
This guy wanted to blow this all up, and he's breaking his toys and going home.
You know what I wanted to bring up earlier on in the show?
Sorry.
Oh, please, if you have more on this, please.
There's other texts where he's said things like, "I would rather blow this all up than let her win." Like he's spoken about how vengeful he is in the past. So like he's not afraid of going nuclear if he feels like he's lost.
He's
if
a cornered animal.
Blows it up.
Yes.
Something else we need to talk about, because he's doing his victory lap this week about how Hackamania was such a failure and a bust, and it makes him look good. He doesn't have to do anything, and it makes him look so good. Do you remember the week before he was predicting that there'd be no video, there'd be no pictures coming out? He said that April was going to be there with Nick Rekieta, and that's why no one's allowed to take photos or videotape anything. He said that Nick was going to be in a hotel room.
No one told anybody they couldn't photo or video anything. That's so insane.
Well, what's funny is Patrick came out and told the Clippers, like, "Hey guys, can you just wait till the weekend's over before you start clipping these shows and showing things?" Because obviously the people who paid money to watch it live, we want to give them the value that they deserve. They get to watch it before anyone else gets to see it. I know it's going to get out there and everyone's going to clip this stuff. It's going to get out there. And for some reason, Aaron spun that into you had a lockdown, and it was almost like a Chappelle show. People are taking phones as they walk in to the venue. You're not allowed to record anything.
Yeah, that never happened. And again, we're talking to a guy who didn't even bother to record his own 10th anniversary show. We had to record it.
Right. So this is him talking about the aftermath after Hackamania.
I still love the crash out that's still continuing over that. I mean, how do you fumble your own nuclear weapon? They're like, we've got it. And then just hello darkness, my old friend, all week, just staying up till 5 in, pissed off at me. Maybe if you wouldn't invent scenarios with your side piece 7 months after the love of your life left you flat, maybe you might do a little better. But hey, as Napoleon once said, when your enemy is making mistakes, don't interrupt them. $2.
He's so fucking smug.
Well, the reason everyone was up till 5 a.m. is because we were in Vegas having fun.
Right.
And the reason Nick was up till 5 a.m. is because he had a 6 a.m. flight.
Right.
Like, so
Aaron gets humiliated all weekend long. I mean, especially Friday night. That was the big thing. And a little bit more on NLO the next day. It wasn't just Creep Off didn't talk about Aaron. WTP didn't talk about Aaron. Weird Medicine didn't talk about Aaron. Actually, I don't even think Tukey Soup talked about Aaron. Right?
Maybe a mention here or there.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like he thought this was like an Aaron-focused weekend. It was not. We did this little Piggy, obviously, which focuses on
NLO
Aaron.
spent more time on Chad than Aaron.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
That letter wasn't even a part of the NLO show until we got it days before the event. And it was just too much. I was just like, we have so much. Let's save a little nugget for NLO. It wasn't like let's hold back the best. The letter is not amazing compared to the rest of the stuff we released. It was just like, both Chad and Aaron think this whole event was about them, but Chad was mentioned on more shows and talked about more than Aaron.
Yeah. And Karmic X was even more than them. It was
discussed off shows.
Right.
People were buzzing about Karmic. Yeah.
It was just amazing seeing Aaron spiral after just posting a single picture of that wedding ring. Like that set off
5 shows of yeah.
Right. But for him to be able to spin this in his mind and to his audience that all of us are like, oh man, that was such a disaster. I can't believe this didn't go as we expected, when all of the evidence is readily available on YouTube. Everyone can watch everything that happened for free. It's all out there. And crowd reactions. I mean, everything that happened during that hour that Nick was on the stage was humiliating for this man.
The reason Aaron didn't understand what evidence we had is because he didn't know that existed. Those were texts between April and Nick. So he's running through his mind for a month after we announced we had evidence. April's must be going to go there, or, oh, they have my letter. That's it. Because there must have been some relief felt by him. When we posted that letter, he was like, that's all they have, the letter?
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Yeah, that's what he was hoping that was it. Yeah.
It's like, no, that was just to make you do what you did. Moody's idea. It was Moody's like, you should just post a zoom in of that wedding ring and just watch him lose his mind for 3 days. And we posted that before his evening show on Wednesday, and that's all his next 3 shows were about.
I want to play him sucking up to Jesse P.S. real quick. Because there's no sincerity. That's the thing about Aaron. Like you said, he's always trying to manipulate. He's always trying to play a role. He used to say that Patrick did a good job of breaking down a show. Like, he hated you. We wouldn't say your name. And then April left, and then, so he doesn't have to protect her anymore. And he goes, Patrick's actually really good at this stuff. He tried to get you on board.
He said he had clips on his phone. He watched them all the time. It's so funny. Right. Matt blew up his spot one time. He said he came into Aaron's house, and they were all gathered around the laptop watching NLO and laughing.
Mm-hmm. So now he's trying to do the same thing with Jesse Piazza Pod Awful.
Steak. I'm a big fan of what Jesse does. I think he's hilarious. He's the only guy that I've watched like shit on me and I've laughed my ass off, because he's the only one who like doesn't have a mental illness, like personal, like I did something to him. Like a lot of these people, it's like, did we know each other? Were we neighbors? Did I
play a clip?
Also,
when is he going to show some evidence of us like being personally invested in this man's life.
If you remember 1 week ago from today, on the morning of the show, he was sucking wind by Tuesday and saying how funny he was.
That's right.
Fun of Steel Toe.
I think I played that. Yes, I played that on this little Piggy.
Sure. That was a week ago, and now Jesse P.S. is the only one
who can do it.
Yeah. Wait till Jesse P.S. hears you've put him in the same category as Win by 2. He's gonna be stoked about that one.
Cut your power? Did I steal your internet? Like, you seem way too invested in all this. And Jesse's just funny. And Mint Diggity says lots of licking. Yeah,
that's the end of the Jesse PS stuff that I wanted to show you guys. But the other thing I wanted to talk about briefly, if you will, as it were, he's been talking about Null from Mad at the Internet and Kiwi Farms, the owner of Kiwi Farms, Josh Moon. And he's talking about, I don't know if you guys have seen these clips, but he says, he's tasked someone with coming to central Minnesota around the anniversary of the arrests. He goes, I don't know what he's got planned, but watch his show that next Friday. Watch Mad at the Internet. Oh, man, something's going to go down. And I don't know if he knows something. I assume he doesn't. And I hate that type of promotion of something where you go, guys, something's going to happen. Like, well, if you don't know, then just wait for it to happen and then report on it. Have you guys seen any of this? You know what I'm talking about?
No. Is it anything like the 70 pages of documents that were going to come out during Hackamania that never came out?
Yeah, what happened to that? Well, what's that account? MN
Public Records.
Public Records. Yeah, I forgot about that. What happened to that?
There's also the same account, let's not forget, that dropped the Aaron HRO documents that had the text between April and Ashley about physical and psychological abuse. But that was bullshit. All the texts are real except the text where he ate cum. Yes. All the documents this guy drops are on point except the ones about him being an abuser. It's remarkable.
It's funny. So I just saw this come in from Madam Priest, member for 1 month. Carl, is Steel Toe a better locale than John? And what we're talking about right now reminds me of how there's this Muttering Jay character on Twitter that will just flip back and forth between liking John and hating John. And he just manipulates John. He just manipulates John every time. And John will be like, Muttering Jay's the worst. He's an asshole. And then he'll pull up a screen grab and you see Muttering Jay in his DMs. And he'll be like, Muttering Jay knows. I mean, ask that guy. He's got my back. Where Aaron's the same way. Where it's just like, friend can become a foe and vice versa. Just depending
on
what you're saying. Yeah, Chad Buzmak was never his buddy. And he doesn't understand that, which is very fun. But to answer your question, Madam Priest, Stuttering John has funnier clips because he's such an embarrassment and he's such a slob and raging alcoholic and he just drool on himself and just say the most ridiculous things and embarrass himself. So I think as far as clip packages go, John's the king. But Aaron has a personality disorder that should be studied. There's something about Aaron's, and Dr. Steve could speak on this probably better than I can, but he's definitely a narcissist. I mean, that goes without saying. But there's other personality disorders in there. When you think about how he's able to show up, act like everything that happened the opposite way it did, and smile about it, be like, guys, everything's fucking great. My life's amazing.
Or the sorcerer. I wonder if the sorcerer would ever come on this show and just talk about Aaron Imholt.
Because Stuttering John,
we should get the sorcerer on. Your good call.
Stuttering John, you could hear the cogs moving in his head, and you know where they're gonna click. Like you could, you could predict absolutely everything and work out every thought pattern happening with him. Steel Toe or Aaron is way more intelligent than John, absolutely, and is able to get further in his own personal life. You don't quite know what he's gonna do next. You know it will be in service of himself and to protect his own ego, but you don't know how nuclear he's going to get and how many people around him he's going to hurt. There's no one that John's not getting close to anyone because he's extremely off-putting and obviously a person you don't get close to. Yeah. Aaron's a lot more dangerous since
they both use people. They both, and John used to have clout in the industry and he used to have connections. And so you can go back and Moody, I mean, you're not probably schooled on all things Stuttering John, but if you go back and look through his history, he treats relationships as a one-way relationship. He uses people until they get sick of being used and then they leave. Aaron's the same way. Aaron definitely does the same thing.
But he can. I don't think that a stuttering John can manipulate. Like back then, he would have had notoriety and something to offer because of the circles he moved in. That's gone now. He doesn't have that anymore. Whereas
same thing with Aaron. Aaron used to be on the radio, and now he's got nothing.
Sure, but Aaron doesn't swing in, no pun intended, Aaron doesn't really swing in high circles, really, but he's able to manipulate someone into having personal relationships with them. Like, he was able to get close to the Ricadas, close enough to have, like, an explosion that happened that ends up hurting both of those families, or 3 families even, if you want to go into that.
Again, I think Nick's house had an April-shaped lock. That wasn't so much steel toe, I think. But I guess this week, we predicted this for a while because he did it with Johnny Crutch's last relationship. This week he started shitting on Digger, who is Johnny's new girlfriend, started shitting on her show and saying she's not good and it's not a good show. And I'm wondering if this is going to drive some sort of wedge between Johnny and Aaron. I don't know if you saw him doing that.
I did not, but I'm intrigued.
So Aaron is now explicitly insulting Johnny's girlfriend.
He's pushed every co-host away from him. Johnny is still, for some reason, holding on. Could this be the end of that?
Johnny's only reason to live, according to Johnny, is Aaron Emholt.
So as long as another reason to live comes along in Johnny's life, as soon as that happens, he'll go.
Yeah. Guys, I have breaking news. I'm glad you stuck with us. We have over 1,200 people watching live. Thank you for being here for this little piggy as we kind of recap what happened last week and Aaron's response to that. But this is big news. Nick Ricada is in the chat. Fair is fair. The ladies at Pretty Antisocial have hacked my Google and have my cringe photos from the group. Watch their show tomorrow. Watch Pretty Antisocial on YouTube tomorrow. They are going to have some cringe photos of Nick Ricada coming out.
Great.
Oh. Poor Nick. I already feel bad for her. It's going to be embarrassing.
Cowboy hats and snow.
On their members only show.
That's another thing that Aaron was doing. He's trying to spin the, wow, all these guys just want to look at me. We said topless, but you want to look at me without my shirt on. It's like, no. It's embarrassing, these photos that you're posing for, the way you're posing for them.
Yeah.
It's not gay. We're just clowning you because you look ridiculous and you thought you were hot.
We're gay.
And plus we're a little gay. So what? What's it to you, asshole?
It's interesting to think of the thought patterns that led to those photos existing, not the fact that he's got his shirt off. That's actually funny.
Right. Again, picture the women are exchanging sexy photos, not necessarily nudes, but sexy photos. And Nick, we said this on this little piggy, Nick says Aaron piped up in the group and said, we should be sharing sexy photos, and then sent those in.
Yes, correct.
That's why it's funny.
A very bad idea. When women are sharing sexy poses and everything like that, like, let that go. That's all we need in our feed here.
Aaron's like, but what am I supposed to jerk off to? Let's get some guy pics going.
All right. I haven't mentioned it yet today, but we do have a goal, but we're not begging for it. We're not begging for it, though. We stopped begging for the goal on this little piggy. I'll say it for the first time. Supertip.gg/WATP is where you can go to support the show and also participate in the show. And for $10, I'll play your video. This is the last time I'm going to play one of these because we're going to owe Aaron a lot of money every time we play his voice on this show.
I palmed the bullet, put it on the counter, and pointed in indignation. Another win for the toe.
A sleight of hand.
Yes.
Yeah, Aaron thinks that, like, because we have a parody of his voice, that somehow it's a copyright violation. This is
we can't talk about it. The attorneys told me not to bring it up. We got we're gonna owe him a lot of fucking money, Patrick. I'm gonna owe him a lot of fucking money. That's on you.
It's on the creators, not the company.
If one of you guys don't come in my face, I will sue all of you.
Aaron, I'm starting to believe you're one of these cucky lady boys. Please don't buy the gym. I don't want to explain to the boys which side of the fence you're on.
Well said, Coach Scott. Well said. Is he the best voice in the...
He's one of them.
He's up there, right?
He's a good one.
Matt is still a favorite of mine.
Dr. Steve is good.
I like Matt. Yeah, I mean, we've got hundreds now, I think, so it's hard to pick a favorite, Carl.
Piggy Monster's a good one.
Oh, Piggy Monster is up there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Blatt, who was also hanging with us in Hackamania.
Almost didn't.
People. Are we going to fight again? People, I can't stress this enough. Save up your vacation time, save up your money. We're going to do Hackamania again next year. That has been finalized already. This has to happen. You're going to want to be a part of it. It's so much fun being at these shows. And Christian says, remember my theory. Johnny absolutely hates Aaron.
I don't think Johnny's got enough energy.
Yeah, I don't think he gives a fuck enough to hate.
Yeah,
I know. I agree with you. I don't think that's the case.
It's like a turtle in Entourage.
Mm-hmm.
As long as my friends are making money and willing to splash a little bit around, I'm along for the ride.
Yeah.
But the minute this is over, Johnny will go his own way. And again, these guys don't get together socially. Aaron doesn't hang. Aaron has golfing friends. Aaron has former schoolmates he drinks with. He doesn't hang out with Johnny. So the minute the show is gone, just like with April, how the entire relationship was built on the foundation of the show and her fandom for the show and Aaron, the minute that goes away and stops not being fun anymore, the relationship is finito. Like, it's just done. I believe that. I believe when the show's done and Johnny can't get his share, he'll be gone from Aaron's life.
Yeah, Aaron kicked Johnny out of his house. Like, Johnny wanted to still come by and do the shows live, and he was like, nope, not anymore.
He trips over the cables. Yeah, who needs that kind of shit? Stupid.
Plus, Slam Pieces Pitbull is there now.
Yeah. So here's something that I think a lot of people don't realize about guys like Johnny is that they love seeing themselves on the internet. I remember when Quadfather was doing Stuttering John's show for a while, and he was a regular on that show, and everyone was going, Quad, what are you doing? You're on John shows and you're agreeing with him on everything. But Quad liked that all these clip shows were playing clips of him, and he's seeing himself showing up in subreddits, and he's seeing himself. I think Johnny, regardless of how humiliating it might be, and Johnny's not really humiliating himself for the most part, he loves the fact that he's on a show that's getting tons of eyeballs. People are seeing him. They know who he is. That goes a long way with some people.
I disagree. I don't think so.
Okay.
Because otherwise Johnny would have accepted to be on a whole bunch of other shows, but he's not.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's true. We invited him on here. You're right.
Invited him on here. He's been invited on MLC. He's been invited on a whole bunch of other places, which if he was...
Well, I said eyeballs. What do you mean MLC? Those shows are watched by 600 people, and then they go away.
I'm talking months ago.
Okay.
I agree with Moody on this. I think Johnny's holding a very thin string to a money kite, and the minute that kite flies away, Johnny will be erased from Aaron's life.
Okay.
Fully. Like,
all right. Listen, I'll accept when I'm incorrect on these things. A lot of people like to say that you have to agree with Carl on all of his shows. That is not the case.
I know that's not what's in the script.
Incorrect.
It's not in the script.
I know. Oftentimes incorrect, and I will accept that. Queefer haircutting person.
He's going to send me a text after was going like, look, I've been in these social situations before when one guy disagrees with me and then turns on me. Look, I'm the guy that's agreeable. I'm the guy with the ideas.
Guys, I'm the guy that you agree with on this show, all right? Patrick can be the funny one, but I'm the one that everyone agrees with my theories. Queefer haircutting person Stutterland says, how do you think the Toad would react to get ambushed? So as you guys know, my buddy Adam Bush has been going on all the podcasts lately, and it would be amazing. He's
been doing great.
If he showed up,
doing so well.
His patience. I talked to Adam about this on WATP this week. What sets Adam apart from most of the other people who go on these shows and guest on shows, Adam has no problem with dead silence.
Mm-hmm.
He'll just sit there and go, was that a question? Everyone else will stop talking and then someone will pick it up. But for Adam, he'll just expose them for not knowing how to interview someone.
0% chance he ends up on Steel Toe. Steel Toe would not let him on there because Adam would actually ask interesting questions.
Anything that pierces the veil of delusion that he has. And that's why he trusts guys. You know, I bet he was upset when Karmic came on sober. You know, he wants guys who are not quite with it. And there. Again, imagine... I know St. Cloud's a small market, but the guys you picked to be on your show are Johnny and Matt.
Mm-hmm.
April, who he couldn't stop singing the praises of. Like, she's amazing at this. It's like, no, she's amazing at sitting next to you and saying, good one, Aaron.
Yeah.
You're right, Aaron. And that's what he picks. And then again, even the people we
but Patrick,
don't know about.
Say that again, but this time say Carl. Like, good one, Carl. That's amazing. Can you do that? Just once?
I don't know what you're saying to me right now. I don't get it.
God damn it.
But like, even think about like Oz, who's a guy who's so drunk he can't even make it out to stuff, and Whistling Pete, who
knows what his deal
bragged and bragged about this guy. The guy came up and literally go, I got nothing. And that was the end of the segment. And Aaron said after that event, like, I really loved hanging out with Whistling Pete. We got to get him on the show more. We never, we never see him again. It's like Aaron doesn't want friends or co-hosts or funny people on his show. He's not interested in anything that makes the show good. It's all about Aaron at the core.
Yep. Guys, I got to run. I got to go. I'm going to a hockey game tonight here in downtown Rochester. The Rochester Americans are in the playoffs in the third round. I'm going to go touch ice. Eddie Valentino, $2 says Aaron should visit Bangkok. He'd never want to leave. Does anyone understand that reference?
Lady boys,
submissive
probably.
Women, submissive
children.
Are Asian women like traditionally submissive to men and do
That's
whatever
true.
they say?
All right, yeah, I'll give you that. So any of those guesses could potentially be what that person was referring to. Moody, anything you want to promote, my friend, before we take off?
No, just want to rest this week. It's been a long week.
You are an MVP, my friend. You and Sean did so much. You know, obviously Patrick put in most of the work, but you and Sean both helped out so much to make Hackmania happen. So thank you.
It was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to next year's one. I'll definitely be there. So yeah, let's do that.
Moody, you have 2.5 hours and then NLO's on, so come on back.
You know, I haven't shouted out on any of these shows yet. Is Tracy Hollywood, who made the trip from Sydney.
Yes.
That was amazing.
She said she's only been a fan for a couple weeks, and she made the journey out all the way from Sydney, Australia. Shout out to Tracy Hollywood.
She just got into this thing. She's never been to America before, and she traveled from Sydney, Australia to be
by
with us at
herself.
Hackmania. Yeah, amazing.
A woman by herself, and she was fine and made friends and had fun. She was great.
She was great.
She sat at the Moody table during the high roller dinner. She was great. Everyone loved her. She's fantastic.
Yeah. So if your excuse is, I don't know anyone else who's into this kind of stuff, I don't know who to go with, that's not an excuse. Come to Hackmania. Come to all these live shows that we do. I'll be in Boston next week if you're in the Northeast. WATPlive.com. Get your tickets. They're almost sold out. But we'll be there with the Dick Show and WATP in Boston, June 21st. So come out to that if you're in the area.
And as I found out before the show, Dick Show is different. DickShow.com is different to the Dick Show.
I told Moody before the show started, I said, thedickshow.com is very different than dickshow.com. And then Moody looks at his screen and goes, oh shit, you're right. You didn't have to look that up.
Right.
Just take my word.
It's important.
Real quick, too, I wanted to thank everyone who came out. It was an amazing event. We can't do this without the fans and stuff. So thank you guys so much for entrusting us to do good shows and have a great time. And I really can't thank you enough. NLO's on at 5:30 East, 8:30 East, 5:30 West. Come check us out tonight. I'll be going over all the stuff I've missed this week as well.
Colin Madden coming in last minute. I didn't want to say this, but supertip.gg/WATP is where you can support this program.
This fallacious, meandering, inscrutable collection of human goo pandering to the scintillating hoi polloi on not even a basic human level, if that makes any sense.
I feel like Karvik was here with us now. Thank you for doing that.
Real quick, too, I'm going to put up on Hackmania.com all the photos people have texted in to the number. If you have the text number and you have photos and videos, please feel free to text those in or send them to hello@Hackmania.com. And so for the rest of the year, I'll just put up a gallery of all of everybody's photos and stuff so you can see that. I didn't take one photo of the event or the shows while I was there, and not because I was frantic and busy. I was just having a great time. I'll send in the
photo of me and my brother when I'm wearing my lederhosen.
Yes.
I'll definitely make sure you get that for the gallery.
It was so good. It was so fun.
Chardy says, can't wait for Metro Detective tonight. What, are we just plugging random things now? What's going on? All right. Anything else you want to promote? NLO tonight, live. WhoAreThese.com. all things Who Are These podcasts.
Cool.
We'll
Let's
be
shut
live
it down.
tomorrow.
We're done. All
Shut
right.
it down.
It's
Yeah.
enough already. I'm just looking
We're all
for the
just turning off.
outro. I'm looking for the outro music. Fuck off.
There's a show in town, it's going down. Every week we're back on solid ground. Steel toe slipping, but we're gripping. Got the tea to spill, it's always flipping. From April's scrim to Aaron's glee. Oh, this drama's just a spree. Polydrama, legal trauma, another win. Oh, that's the karma. This little piggy went to YouTube. This little piggy's on Rumble now. This little piggy's begging for dollars, and this little piggy's breaking down. Wow! Every week we're cabbage flow. Tune in for this little piggy show. From revenge porn to felony, it's a circus, can't you see? The toe is bent, the goal is spent. His empire crumbles, all hell sent. April's playlist on repeat. Aaron's lies we can't defeat. The countdown's on, it won't take long to see this piggy squeal his song. This little piggy went to YouTube. This little piggy's on Rumble now. This little piggy's begging for dollars, and this little piggy's breaking down. Wow! Every week we're in cabbage flow. Tune in for this little piggy show. Oh, this little piggy ain't missing a thing. Just sit back, laugh, and watch the